we're live! Hello, Internet world. Hello again. Welcome to another edition of Browsing. We've got the one, the only, that girl, that queen, that blue man now, that writer from Next Magazine, that everything, that fantasy.
I am a Next
Charlene. Here she is in all her glory. Say hello, Charlene, to the internet world. No one's watching yet, but hey.
Hi, boys. But you can watch in it saves it and you can go back later, so someone will.
Yeah, you can time shift this later, so whoever watches later can totally just tune in on us and catch up later. Yeah, this is all recorded. So
I will let the content start flowing right away.
Yeah.
Although I have to tell you,
I did have one incident so far this season where someone asked me to edit something out.
Oh, really?
And I was like, I don't know if I can, but I'll try.
Of the guests of yours who I know who it was.
Ooh, who do you think it was?
I'm not gonna fucking go on blast right now.
Okay, wait, but I think we should announce it on Facebook that we're live now. So let's share
let me do that. Let me do that. Since my Facebook audience is so wide these days after the DNA.
Oh yes, the DNAs are coming up. I'm really I want to just message Mary Cherry and be like, is there Wi-Fi there? Because I want to do the last because next week is the season finale of Browsing. And I would love to do a broadcast live from the VNAs.
But that's on Saturday.
It's on Saturday? It goes on Sundays. It goes on a Sunday.
No, Saturday.
Ah, it's a Sunday. Okay.
I'm already posted up.
Okay.
So let's get the let's start telling jokes.
Let's start going. Girl. Okay. So
I'm here with
you. Then we usually have our first question.
Although you're really you're gonna have to do the leading in this dance, girl, because you always have these bitches on for over an hour, and I don't know that I can carry a conversation for that long.
Oh, I'll carry you, girl. Don't worry. Ooh, you doing some makeup?
Thank you. I mean, everyone on your show always does the Google effects moments.
You're gonna give us some real effects?
I like real live effects. I don't know. It's sitting on my bed. I just moved, so my room is a fucking wreck.
I actually just got a whole set of makeup brushes. I convinced my mother to buy me them for Christmas.
You did?
Yeah, I got this whole.
Convince your mother? We're in a new era of faggotum when mothers are buying makeup.
I know. I got this. Should I do a haul video? This is just my haul video right here.
Makeup brush haul?
My haul video.
Hi.
Look at all my brushes. I got this giant set off Amazon. I don't know about the quality of my brushes, but...
honestly, for someone who, for the kind of makeup that you want to do for the looks that you're doing, you can use it. As long as you have a variety of different kinds, it doesn't really matter how good they are. Good brushes are just bougie,
That's what I think. I'm like,
It's really just one of the things that makes me feel more like a real girl is having nice makeup brushes,
Yes. My mom also gifted me this. It must be from the 90s or whatever, but she gave me this. She doesn't, because my mom's not really into makeup, but she has this 3 fold-out mirror, and it has lights, and you can set it for daytime, evening, and office. And I'm just living for the office is extremely green and fluorescent. And I just want to
weird how
makeup always for office.
But how do they know that all offices are green?
I know. I was thinking in today's world it's kind of more of blue with all those energy efficient bulbs.
Right.
But
right. And then there's the day one, which is not daylight spectrum at all. It's this weird pinkish.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm. And then nighttime, I was like, ooh, nighttime looks. or going out when I would normally be doing my makeup?
I'm getting, you know that drag queen Crimson Kitty?
Crimson Kitty. Yes, yes, yes. I love Crimson Kitty's face.
She's the biological female drag queen.
Yeah.
I won't say faux queen because the faux queen is newly politically incorrect.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that changed.
Or rather, Crimson doesn't like it personally. Either way, whatever.
That's fine. One person starts a revolution sometimes, you know.
Yes, we've seen that happen several times.
Yes. So what are you doing with Crimson Kitty?
What was that? Why did I bring her up? Oh, she has this gorgeous lesbian fiance who constructs things, and gave her for Christmas this handcrafted like vanity mirror moment with the lights, like in like a like you see Marilyn Monroe at her mirror with the lights all around it. So she can make one of those, and I'm gonna commission one.
Yes, do it. Oh my god.
I'm gonna have a commissioned artisan piece.
Ooh.
If she'll do it. I haven't even asked her yet. She'll do it.
She'll do it.
She'll do it. I'll pay her. She'll do it. You know, we all need a... Hey, listen.
Yes.
What was I saying? What were we talking about? Facebook? Don't we have to talk about Facebook?
I mean, we can. I mean, I think before we start, though, I just want to ask my normal... There's always one question I ask every guest.
Okay.
It's a marry, fuck, kill situation of Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So which would you do to each of those?
Marry, fuck, kill?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to kill off Instagram.
Okay.
Which I think might be a popular thing to do in this day and age, don't you?
I feel like a lot of people have killed Instagram in my questioning of them. Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that. I feel like a lot of people really, really like Instagram. I feel like Instagram is a lot of people's primary social media these days.
I think because most people I'm interviewing are kind of like more text-based people, so like they're always like on Twitter or on Facebook, where there are not a lot of image-based people I've on so far.
Well, it also might be that a lot of people you have on the show are smart people. And Instagram... I'm serious. Instagram is one of those things where you can really, like, dumb people really thrive on Instagram.
I hate to say that, but it's probably true.
Let's not say dumb then. Let's say people who are lesser focused on words. There's not many words in the app.
I feel like Instagram is a better way for you to construct like an image of yourself. I feel like it's hard to like make an impression or a brand on like other social platforms.
Instagram is the best.
Instagram is so easy. It's just easy. I'm gonna do something to do with you, I think.
It's the Los Angeles of social media platforms. It's the Hollywood. You know what I mean?
Hollywood. Yes.
It's easy to fake it. It's you know, it's like really I keep up with my Instagram because I like keeping track of my makeup, seeing how it's progressing. So I do a lot of selfies. Which like people who take selfies and aren't wearing makeup, I really like don't get that. But I'm such a slave to the selfie because I like seeing like, you know, what I painted.
Oh yeah. Do you feel you paint for Instagram? Do you feel like you paint for like a certain look? Like, you know, like some people paint for stage, some people paint for TV, some people paint for... Do you feel Instagram is a new platform that you paint for?
No, not for me at least. Some people do. I was living for the past few months with Helvetica Black, Andrew Power.
Oh yeah.
That bitch from Facebook, or like seeing her out.
Yeah, I'm friends with her on Facebook.
He will get in a full look and take a few photos and Photoshop them and have the internet experience be the life of that look, which is something that I guess is cool. But if I paint to perform, I paint because it's a vessel for me to perform, to do what I do. It's like it turns me into my performing self, and it you know, turns me into the, you know, it's a conduit for the divine feminine, my makeup for me. And so it's personal in that sense. And so I don't really pay. I guess you could like really reduce this to saying I do my makeup for myself.
Well, I mean, I think in our conversation in person, we've had this discussion before of like,
oh yeah.
Well, you're like we were talking about your contacts and how like the first time you put in contacts, you finally felt like this distance between yourself and like the drag in a way, right?
Yeah. Well, we're starting a conversation. We'll have to pick up after the Marry Fuck Kill game.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Because that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. So that's we'll go down that rabbit hole after this.
Wait, let me see that brush. Is that one of your new brushes?
One of my new brushes. I don't know. Am I using the right brush?
What are you doing with it?
A little.
Oh yeah, you got it. I love that. I love that move. The holding in front of the hand so you can see.
Yes, I love every video that does that. Because
people don't even
turn off her autofocus. This is actually a fixed focus camera.
But people don't a lot of people who are doing tutorials now don't know why they're doing that. They just think it's something that makeup artists do.
Really? They don't get it that that's what focuses it?
Well, no, a lot of people, you'll see it and it won't change the focus really. They'll just be like this or like hold it up like, you know.
Oh. I love that.
That's stupid.
I'd love to see that in real life where like a makeup artist is like, oh, we're going to use this. And the person's just like, what are you doing? This is doing nothing.
That's the Instagram thing right there. The one who does that on YouTube.
Okay, so we're killing Instagram.
We're killing Instagram because it's the one where you can get away with stupidity the easiest, and it's also, I really, Instagram makes me the most uncomfortable because a lot of people from my hometown like to snoop on me that way. Because my Facebook is very heavily privatized, and Twitter is not really a lens into my personal life as much.
Yeah.
But I will get. It's interesting because people of older generations than you and I will accidentally double-click on a video to get it to play, but it likes it. So they're trying to go incognito on my Facebook, but I get the like on my phone, and it'll be this bitch from like Mountain Brook, Alabama, who I like barely even knew, but is probably in the gossip mill about some like, you know, me moving to New York and turning into this like faggot fairy, and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, leave me alone, y'all. I'm you know, I left. Let me do my life. So yeah, it's just a little like, it's a little too expository, and at the same time, it's a little too fake. And I have a lot of trouble not using words. I like using words. That's why a lot of my Instagrams are me like quoting movies.
Yes, your Instagram videos are to die for. I love whenever there's a Charlene Instagram video.
I just think I like bringing a level of like, I like bringing some level of like interconnectivity between me and the viewer. So it's not just me like being masturbatory. Like, here's my face for tonight.
Yeah.
I can still show off the makeup and still like tell a joke or be funny or something. I don't know. Anyhow, so that for those reasons,
it gives us like a feel of who you are. Where like a picture kind of is a static moment that doesn't really tell us the person. Because I feel like a lot of what Shell sells, like, I mean, not the sells you. I mean, I don't know if you consider yourself a brand, but I feel like when I experience Charlene, it's the personality. You know? Thank you.
I don't consider myself a brand, and I think that's something that's really standing in the way between me and being like some pedigreed, like, I don't know, fucking branded ass drag queen. Like, there's horrible, horrible drag queens who are brands and are like really good at working the YouTube and the internet and everything. And it really is something that has never made much sense to me, just because I have so much trouble taking it seriously. That like I just want to like quote gay movies on Instagram. That's what I want to do on Instagram. I don't like it. I never have liked a hashtag. I can't hashtag. I don't like it. I don't like what it means. I don't like.
I only hashtag like as a joke. Like the only thing I actually hashtag is I only hashtag browsing. That's the only thing because it's supposed to be a joke.
That's the only hashtag you use nowadays.
Yeah, I only use hashtags when I'm or unless it's a real ironic way of doing something like that.
Well, hashtags changed as they moved over, as the hashtagging system moved over to Instagram. It changed into a way to accrue a certain population of people that like shit. So like there's the hashtag MUA, which is like this is like all of the makeup artistry that's happening on Instagram.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I don't want to be a part of that storyline. Like I don't, and for that reason I'm still under.
It's so like some random gays like Instagram, and you're like, how do they have 1,500 followers? Like, who knows this person? And then you see all their posts are like Insta gay boy, twink, whatever.
Gay, Insta, right? Insta good. The fuck is Insta good? And who is hashtagging? Who's looking at the hashtag Insta good? Do we have viewers yet? How do I see?
I don't think you can see them, unfortunately, how many we have, but we do have 5 viewers right now.
Yes,
so shout out to all our viewers right now. Hi, guys.
Are you bitches liking me fucking pontificating on and on about fucking hashtags? This is ridiculous. Should we move on to Twitter?
I'm sure they are. If you want to, you can ask us questions. There's a Q&A app.
Yeah, ask questions.
Ask us questions. But the chat room, so you can chat up and say hi. We'll say hi in the chat room. Hi.
Oh, that's the chat room? I haven't, what are we talking about? Hashtags? Yeah, I don't like them. I don't like them one goddamn bit. Twitter. I'm gonna fuck Twitter.
You're gonna fuck Twitter. Okay. Why are you gonna fuck Twitter?
Because, Twitter I utilize as strictly as a medium for telling jokes, particularly after I have smoked a lot of pot, and if I'm just like thinking of fun, silly shit, that's when I want to put it on Twitter. I like Twitter because it is a lot more. I feel a lot more anonymous, and I also I feel a lot of the pressure is taken off.
Mm-hmm.
And it is likened to a casual fuck in that way, with the pressure off.
Yeah.
Just doing like this quick, because it's kind of like shouting into an abyss. When I'm on Facebook or Instagram, I'm kind of competing against other people for likes in this weird way. But Twitter is just, I mean, and my Twitter following too. Like I think I have under 200 Twitter followers, so it's all stupid. But every now and then I'll land a solid joke, and every now and then you have a solid fuck. I don't know. I'm just thinking of fucking Twitter. I fuck Twitter. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty proud.
I mean,
I'm pretty proud of my Twitter.
I don't really use Twitter.
Huh?
It's funny that I run this show and I don't really use Twitter at all.
I don't think many people do anymore.
It's a very niche thing, I feel. Ooh,
Twitter?
I haven't done my under eyes in so long. It feels so nice to do them.
Well, the Twitter seems like a completely illogical way of connecting with people who you actually know. Or are going to ever know. That's why I find it so strange that people like Derek making real life friends off of fucking Twitter. Are you serious? How does that work?
People do.
I don't think I can manifest a real life relationship from any social media platform of any kind.
I mean,
is that stupid?
Tyler through the internet.
I know Chris makes lots of friends on the internet. Derek and him met on Twitter. That's the one I was referring to.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible. I mean, we're in a new age of social media, I think, and interaction and how.
Right. Well, Anthony, also, I'm talking from I can't even do dating. You know, I'm just very. Are
you not doing?
I'm very wary of the internet. Okay, I think that. No, well, there's different. I have different weird mental reasons for not doing all of them, but the primary one is insecurity of feeling misrepresented by the internet intrinsically because it is the internet. I see it as an entity that I can't trust and that I have to be able to manipulate to my own will. And I feel like if you're involving matters of the heart or the cock or whatever, if you're involving matters of actual other people, I think that gets really tricky. And I also am really upset by the fact that I can't properly display myself as the person who you're going to meet in real life on the internet, and that's something that really creeps me out. I've never really had the Grindr moment where it's like the talking on the cell phone and then ding dong, I'm here to suck you dick. I've like taken Grindr boys on dates before, and it's super fucking myopic. But it's like I wasn't doing drag at the time, but now that I am doing drag, I feel like if someone's texting me that they're watching, I feel like if I were to okay, here's how it is with the apps. I feel like if I were to give you like this, well, I have makeup on now. If I were to give you like my boy fucking self on Grindr, like have up here, like, hey, this is me, like this is who you're gonna be fucking later, then like you don't really have the whole story. You don't really know that I'm actually like a goddess incarnate.
Yeah.
If I do say so myself. Like, and that's something that really bothers me. I'm gonna want someone who's going to like be intimate with me, to know, respect, and like the fact that I'm a drag queen. However, if I have myself in drag on any of those platforms, it's like the floodgates are open for all the goddamn fucking creeps in the world, for all the tranny chasers, for all of the stupid pervs, for all of the, you know, like hopeless ass, really tragic underbelly of the internet, which is something that in turn makes me really lonely and feel alone in the world, even though it's the internet, which is connecting all these people. So I try and steer clear of the online dating, and I'm wary of all of the normal social media platform. Not normal. I'm wary of all of the like non-romantic or sexual social media platforms for that reason. Also, at the same time, I was bred from the dawn of the internet in my upbringing to fear the internet. So there might be a lot of that there too. I don't really fucking know.
You were bred to fear the internet? By who?
I got in a lot of trouble growing up with my parents. With like my principal in high school found my live journal, which had like really not intimate, but really specific. And look at me, I have one earring in. One of them fell out. I got in a lot of trouble with my parents. My parents my mom specifically, fears the internet, and I would get in a lot of trouble talking to people I didn't know, or like the beginnings of blogging. My live journal got me into a shit ton of trouble with my headmaster in high school because I would talk about stuff that happened at school, and he found it in some like really bizarre, fucked up way. And like I was like shamed publicly at assembly one Monday for my live journal, and like little shit here and there. Like I would get banned from the internet by my parents in my teenage years for the stupidest shit. I mean like I would get screen names on AIM of people who I didn't really know, who like I would get we would have mutual friends. Like I would get them from their buddy list, but I wouldn't know them. I'd be like, "Hey, what's up? How are you?" and not know them, and word would get back around to my parents somehow, and that I was like talking to people I didn't know. And like, I know, whatever. So all of this, the purpose of all of this is to say, is to kind of give you a background of where I'm coming from with my relationship to social media as it currently exists.
I actually was wondering because I was browsing your Facebook page when I was getting images of you, and I know you sometimes probably get a lot like people like friend you and then they stalk backwards to like when you were more boyish and like,
when I was more boyish,
or like, oh my God, Charlene, you're like the hottest boy ever, or like whatever. And how do you feel about that? Do you feel conflict? I feel like it kind of relates this in a way where like I feel like it happens to me a little bit sometimes. Like people will go back when I had a lot shorter hair and stuff like that, and they'll be like, oh my God, you're so cute, like da 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 da.
I don't get offended really when people tell me that I'm a cute boy because there's no reason to take offense to that.
But do you feel like it's different if they don't like see you now as somehow like sexual or attainable, but then like they see your former self?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of that there, but that's just one of the many ways that whole thing is manifested in my life. You know, you know, I'm a different person now, and it's not even the gender thing, as much as it is like a phoenix thing. You know, like I was a completely different person then, and like the gender is just a very minuscule part of all that. So when people say they find that attractive, it's like, okay, bitch, whatever. They might as well find my sibling attractive, you know, like. I'm like, okay, cute for you. But you know, that's the way with faggots. They like dudes who look like dudes.
That is true. They do like dudes that look like dudes, which I find frustrating a lot. I don't know. I guess I like. Well, I have this idea that like I guess because like queer Brooklyn, I felt like would somehow be more like okay with like us femme girls who like straddle the line sometimes, and like a personal.
Sometimes, look at you, bitch. We were talking about hair product earlier. Sometimes.
Okay, all the time, basically. Oh my. Like my current spring fantasy look.
I like to call a bitch out on her pussy, girl.
I mean, if my actual like spring looks, I think are going to be chiffon culottes and jumpsuits.
I love a good chiffon. Wait, jumpsuits, really? Are you getting into the Princess Mickey aesthetic?
I think so. I think we might be like bosom buddies on this.
I love that song, Bosom Buddies.
Oh. Did you see her orange jumpsuit?
I did. I love everything that Mickey does. My favorite of her looks was the beard that Ari put on her. By the way, Ariana Huff and Stuff, ACR Face Arts did my Blue Man look.
Is she going to continue doing your Blue Man look, or?
Well, I'm actually, like, I kind of feel bad because, like, she's not really getting the credit yet because I'm not done with the joke yet. So I kind of can't, like, say that she, like, did it. Because then my cover would be completely blown, and everyone would know that I'm not actually a blue man.
Everyone watching this episode, these 8 people watching, do not tell anyone.
This is exclusive, y'all. I'm not actually a blue man.
Girls.
Huh?
This is a secret between us girls watching right now.
And everyone who watches from here on out. And
do not let everyone keep telling the trolling lie that Charlene is.
Does that count as trolling, Anthony?
It's kind of trolling.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, you're fucking with people just to get a reaction out of them.
Is that what trolling is, fucking with people?
It's kind of purposely fucking with people to, like, bring something out of them.
It's so hard to do my left eye.
I haven't done my eyes. I kind of always leave my eyes for last. I kind of want to fall asleep in this.
Oh, really? Don't do your eyes last, Anthony. You need to do your eyes close to first.
Is this the first Charlene tip? The first Charlene tip of the night?
Well, your eyes are the most likely to fuck up the rest of it because when you do dark shadow, it almost always falls on your cheek right under here.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I have had that problem before.
A lot of queens will do their highlight cook and leave a lot of powder right here so they can just brush it away. But I like to just like do my eyes or my forehead and my eyes completely first before anything is done down here.
I'm really living for my beat right now.
Are you, bitch?
I am. I haven't like done my under eyes in a while.
Oh yeah, you're nice and concealed.
Yeah, I feel nice and concealed now. And I have this new clown white that I bought when I did that Bette Midler act. And now I'm joining like the hyper real drag queen scene of like
You've got a Mayron
white as my highlights.
You got a Mayron stick. That's serious.
I did. I went to the Halloween store.
Wait, they sell those at the Halloween store?
Yeah, well, they sell like the very.
Oh no, you mean fucking Abracadabra?
Yeah, Abracadabra.
Yeah, that place sells drag queen makeup.
They do. It's wonderful.
Well, now they realize that people aren't buying them for costumes and that drag queen are buying them. So it's actually brilliant. Their whole campaigning now is surrounded by New York City drag queens in their products.
Oh.
So, like, they released lipsticks, and they had all these major queens as the models and like the namesakes for their shades of lipstick, and they did the same thing with gloss recently. Yeah, like Aja had one, Ruby had one, Scarlet Envy had one.
Nice.
And everybody.
Abracadabra.
What?
Shout out to Abracadabra.
Shout out to Abracadabra. Maybe you can link to it.
Yeah, I can shout them out for supporting local drag.
They don't have an online store. I don't know. I've never bought makeup there. I don't really like buying makeup from the stage makeup places anymore.
Where do you buy it?
I'm a real woman.
Oh, so you go like the Dwayne Reed route?
Yeah, I buy my makeup.
I'll be honest, this is the only thing I own that's like stage makeup. The rest is, of course, like Maybelline Dwayne Reed.
Yeah, that's probably fine, honestly, bitch. Like, Matthew Anderson is famous for saying if it makes a mark, you can use it.
That is true.
He's actually not famous for saying that as much as I remember him saying that. It's totally but my face is MAC exclusive now.
Ooh! I've always wanted to get. I don't know. Is it worth it?
What?
Do you feel MAC makeup's worth it?
I like having all MAC makeup because the colors are made to go together.
Okay.
So like my I don't know. I don't want to get into a philosophical makeup discussion. I use their palettes, like, I use a lot of different creams to sculpt my face, a lot of different colors, and I know when they're all the same brand that they're all kind of going to go together, and there's some of their, like, there's just some things that are so sickening. Yeah, I mean, like, you really can't beat, like, drugstore makeup works, but, like, you know, this shit is just, like, it's the best. It's the best.
I have to try it.
I mean, like, MAC Makeup Forever, for people doing dramatic looks. You know, that's what you need, really. You can use the shit that they have at Alcone and Abracadabra, but it's a lot more, you know, I wear my face for a really long time, because sometimes I'm even painting before my day job, my waitress gig.
Which I love that you come painted to work.
It has definitely offered me a really interesting lens into, like, the reality behind what it is to really fuck with gender.
You
know?
What do you feel like it is when you're, like, what is the difference you feel? Is there a noticeable difference between you and customers and...
Between in and out of drag?
Yeah.
It's a completely different experience.
Do you feel it's more positive? Like, do you feel you get more tips, or...
Yes, I make more money, but it's definitely not more positive.
So what's the difference then? Because I think most of us assume that positivity correlates with more money.
Yes, ostensibly it does, Anthony. But I get a lot of see, when you're like waiting tables, that eye's just not gonna blend, so I'm gonna stop trying it. When I'm waiting tables in drag, I don't know what I'm gonna get. Queens who work, we work in gay bars. So you know you're gonna go to work and you're gonna see a bunch of faggots, and they know how to treat you, and they know how they're supposed to act around drag queens. They've seen them before. But I really don't know what I'm gonna get ever. And it's on Rivington Street, so there's a lot of like cool Lower East Side people who kind of get it. and that's always super easy. There's of course the regulars who like know me personally at this point.
Mhm.
And that's always good. But like, you know, I've had people burst into laughter when I approach the table.
Wow.
I've had like uncomfortable experiences with children. That's always like that's always super real. And you can kind of by like the kids don't have filters, so you can kind of tell like what's going on, how they're being raised by what they say.
Mhm.
Be a drag queen.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, I kind of get it. You know, like I get it. It's a transgressive thing, and it's not something that people come into contact with very often. It's kind of one of those things like you've seen a movie where there's a drag queen at the restaurant where you're eating, but you're never actually like or sit down to a not otherwise gay space and like the person who's gonna take your order on what kind of goddamn spaghetti that you want to eat is like a fully painted drag queen. And like people tell me, people for all these people who are telling me that I'm like a fishy or real drag queen,
Mhm.
in my look, like every single goddamn like bro who I wait on when I'm in drag calls me dude or like man without fail. Every single one of them. So like I'm
You
not
get
really,
offended by man and dude?
huh?
You get offended by the man dude bro thing?
I'm not offended. It's very hard to offend
I,
you.
I struggle with the man dude bro.
It does hurt my feelings because it's very obvious, and not because I feel unseen by them. Well, I guess I do feel unseen by them, but it's very, to me, it's very obvious that I've taken the necessary steps for you not to call me dude or bro
Mm.
anymore. Like I think it's very obvious that by standing here with a full face of makeup and
Yes.
fake bosoms and high heels, even though I'm on a job where I'm on my feet for 6, 7 hours at a time, I think that it's fairly on the nose that I therefore don't qualify as a dude anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
How do you experience it when, like, in just when you're in even, like boy drag? Like, do you like man, dude, and bro when you're like just in boy drag? Because I find
No,
it
I
even
never liked it
annoying
because when I'm in
at
boy
any
drag,
time
it's
in my
still
time in
obvious
life.
that I'm a drag queen.
Hmm?
When I'm in boy drag, it's still obvious that I'm a drag queen because my attitude and my like the way that I talk or anything, it's not very different. Like it's obvious that I'm a faggot. Don't
Yeah.
call me bro. I don't use that word. Like I'm fucking say sometimes when sometimes when there's when I'm in drag usually and someone's doing the dude bro thing, I usually will say like you're welcome woman. Like
Ah!
hi chick. But
Yes.
I
'Cause
can get
I
away with
struggle with it at work because like I do like IT,
it,
but
right?
like even in those spaces, like it's still like this man. It's still like this very. It's still this very masculine defined space,
Uh-huh.
but it's gotten like I guess I always imagined like creative studios wouldn't be so broy, but I feel like the bro has like invaded every space. That's
Maybe
like
you should tell them you're a woman and you're transitioning. That would make them stop.
that would I get I mean I've convinced one of the places I worked at to stop using man, dude, and bro because I just called them out on it. I'm like, really? Do not call me man. Do not call me dude. Do not call me bro.
Um, you know what? I really don't care. It's all projection from the person who's doing that. It's,
Hmm.
it's insecurity about their own masculinity. It's that way too whenever guys call each other by their last name, that
Oh
that
Lord.
is so bizarre to me because
Hmm.
it's kind of like you're kind of like asking to suck him off, aren't you? By calling him by his last name.
I think so.
That's kind of a come on. It's a pet name.
Hmm. I mean, I
Am I
definitely feel
wrong?
like a
Or
lot of
I
like
just like watch too much Broke Straight Boys or something.
maybe.
I don't
But I do
actually.
feel like but I also do feel like we're in a new age of masculinity where I feel like men are starting to finally be able to actually like admit that there can be intimacy between them, not necessarily like sex, but like there can be this honesty in a way.
You mean the bromance?
Fuck the bromance.
No, I disagree with you there.
I want to transcend the bromance.
Yeah, you just want straight dudes to start fucking each other.
Well, I don't want to go that far, but
I do.
I feel like the bromance is still like it's still clinging. You know, it's still clinging to this masculinity.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to go beyond that.
And what does that look like for you?
I don't know yet. I don't know what it looks like exactly yet, but I think it's a dissolution of fear of like being seen as gay or weak or anything. That's what I think.
Men will go to any fucking length on earth. If tomorrow someone woke up and convinced all of them to convince the other guys that you're not gay, you have to start sucking dick, they would do it.
Which is a sad world, I think.
I mean, it's just like it's just testament to the imbalance of masculine and feminine on Earth at large, and not even specified to like men as they act with each other, but just like everything on Earth is so fucking straightforward, masculine, has that masculine energy. It's just a byproduct of it. So I try not to fault them just because they're like muggles, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I just like kind of move on. I'm like, I know the future is female, as they say, and we've just
actually, you know what, Anthony? I actually these a few queers got on to me recently for saying that.
What? Why? What is wrong with the future is female?
Apparently, there was an art exhibition of some sort recently called Future Feminism. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No. What is it?
There was an art exhibition, I think it was at the New Museum, in the past few years called Future Feminism, which was a bunch of female art. It was a female art exhibit. I don't know. I guess they had fucking the contemporary Georgia O'Keeffe's of the day, like, I don't know, like showcasing their art. But apparently, it was like feminist art. It was feminist art at the New Museum. That's what it was. But they were all cis women, and they were all white. So, or excluding like a few, maybe. But their slogan was, "The future is female." And so by appropriating that phrase into something that was highly publicized and exclusive of trans and otherwise women of color and or like, I don't know, amputees, women who can't hear, deaf women, I don't know. Like, it was like not cute. I like the future is female. I actually like, I'm adopting the language that was suggested to me by those girls of femme. I really am into the whole femme moment these days rather than like female. Female is very attached to the body, and femme is attached to the spirit. And so I'm down with femme for that reason.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah, I do identify. I've never identified as female because I feel like that's not my space to be in.
Right.
That's not my experience, and I mean, I identify as male ultimately.
It's all just language. Like really, even the identification, like even the language of the identification. Not even like what am I trying to say? It's not the word itself. It's the fact that you're trying to identify it is like that's a masculine thing. Like that's not an act of femininity. Being definitive is masculine.
Yeah. I was saying I was terrible. I'm terrible with liquid liner. Really terrible.
Everybody is.
Everybody.
Liquid liner's fucking hard.
It is. I don't know why I bought it. Oh, I do remember why I bought it. Do you know Casey Jane Ellison?
You should not use any liner other than liquid.
Oh, I shouldn't?
Well, every now and then when you have a smoky, it's nice to it's nice to have a nice pencil that's been blended out so you can like continue the smoke illusion. But I think that, I mean, and I use gel liner, but like it gives you the same ka-ching that a liquid liner does. You need the ka-ching, and pencils and otherwise like whatever, like using black foundation is not going to give you the like.
So gel is different from liquid liner.
It is slightly, but they ultimately give you the same look. It's a little bit more blendable, a little bit, and it's a little bit easier to work with.
Oh, okay.
And you have to use a brush. It doesn't come with an applicator.
Okay.
So
in that way, I got this brush set, I am ready to go.
Yeah, I bet that you have a nice liner brush in there, don't you?
Probably. I don't know what it would look like.
It just looks like. I'll show you mine.
Yes. Okay, I think I have one.
So like I'm in my eye camera right now, so it's like.
Okay, yeah, I see it. Wonderful. Ooh.
Anyway, what are we talking? I haven't done my kill. I mean my marry. I'm marrying Facebook.
Good, because I marry Facebook too.
For those of you who have tuned in while we were on our tangent, Anthony and I are discussing.
The originating question was marry, fuck, kill. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
We're doing a marry, fuck, kill of Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I killed Instagram and I fucked Twitter. I gave my reasons. You'll have to go back to see them. I'm marrying Facebook. It is my favorite. I love it.
Yes.
Facebook.
Why do you marry Facebook? Tell us why would you marry it.
Because I know, well, see, okay. Here's why I'm marrying Facebook. It gives me an audience whenever I want it. I spend all day kind of tapped into Facebook. All of my waking day, like, is more or less, I can go into the bathroom if I'm at work. Like, I have my cell phone on me. I'm kind of like, have it at my fingertips at all times because I really like the fact that it gives me a public, not public, it gives, I don't like that it's public, but I like that I can have a conversation with really anyone that I know. Whoever wants to chime in at any time can. And I really appreciate it for that reason. And I also really appreciate that ostensibly, like supposedly, I know everyone who I'm friends with personally. So
is your Facebook game like a promotion game, or do you feel like you friend people on Facebook who you want to chat with?
Like I said, I have trouble viewing social media as a means for promotion in general. That's why I find it so weird that I find it really weird that I was nominated for the Brooklyn Nightlife Award for social media.
For social media,
Because I find I don't think I'm very good at it. I have very few followers comparatively to comparable drag queens, and I never I don't accept Facebook friends unless I know them personally, or they're in New York and have a visible picture that represents themselves as their profile picture, and obviously interact with personal friends of mine on Facebook, or if they're like one of those anomaly drag fans from Middle America, a la Mackenzie, who just loves drag and wants to be connected and is actually going to interact with me. I'm not into the accepting friends just to bump up the friend count, just because like I still have this mentality that I had when I first started doing drag that I needed to really protect myself and my image, because at that time, there were so many people trying to snoop in on my life that I felt, and I still kind of like care. I am really specific with what I put on Facebook, and that what I present is very specific to people who I know personally, because I'm a performer, because I'm a drag queen who's out in the real world. I really do see it more as an extension of what I give anyway, like in real life, in the flesh. Like, if you want to hear a joke of mine, go on Facebook or Twitter. Rather than, like, I mean, I enjoy that pretty much every drag queen is Facebook friends with every other in America. I really like that the community feels a lot more accessible and smaller to me in that way. But I don't really see it as like a way for me to like gain recognition because of something that I do that's contained to the internet. I always want it to be kind of like reflective of a show that I gave, or I don't know. Maybe I'm being maybe that's like a cocky thing for me to say. But Facebook is so good for that. It's good because you can use words, which you can on Instagram, and you can accurately and appropriately display your intellect and your wit with the written word on Facebook. And it's also a really good place to talk shit with friends.
True that.
Which is really like, you know, I want to be able to see what every drag queen's look was for that week.
Yeah.
You know, like the drag queens who I admire, I want to be able to see what they looked like that week, and without actually going to support the show. You know, I want to be able to keep up with them personally. I mean, with their look, and I want to be able to like talk about like drama that's happened, or you know, like when shit goes down, it's always really fun and funny. Yeah. Like I think that the drag Facebook experience is specific enough to where if tomorrow, or like if I had never gotten into drag, then I would probably be off Facebook at this point, because I don't think that I could deal with the wedding engagement photos or the, you know, baby generation on Facebook. It seems so boring to me. But like, you know, when you have
is that where your friends are at now? Do you feel your friends are at like the baby stage, like your straight friends or whatever?
I don't have straight friends anymore, boo.
Yes, she has moved on.
Yeah. Seriously though. No, what do I feel? Yes, I feel like people who I grew up around and who I went to college with have very much entered the like, you know, settle down phase, which I see is really you know, I don't know. I still feel like my life just started. I guess it did. Like I don't really like foresee a time in the near future where I'm not like seeing drag queens all the time, or like, you know, I think that going out is intrinsic to the New York City experience.
And you feel like you're not done with that yet?
I feel like if I didn't want to go out anymore, then I would leave New York pronto. I don't know why anyone who isn't going out regularly and seeing and socializing and seeing the scene, I don't know why you would do it. Why the fuck don't you move to Florida and watch Netflix, where it's cheap and the weather's nice?
That's what I always wonder. I'm like even like you see in like gay apps here, they're like, like I don't like the scene, and I'm like, then what are you doing in New York City exactly? I mean, I guess maybe you're getting your job or whatever on.
Yeah, but there's jobs other places too.
Yeah.
Right? I guess if you want to do big time banking or like big time anything, it's a place like New York City is a city for the big times. But like that, it definitely wouldn't be worth it to me. Look at this single nail in the wall.
I know. I was wondering, like, do you have anything on your walls?
No, I literally just moved into this apartment, so all of my shit is really like my Matisse is leaning on its side right now. Did you see that, or was the camera on you?
Wait, yeah, let me switch to you. Okay. Wait, yeah, show us your Matisse.
Showing you around. My Matisse is leaned on its side against a dresser.
Oh, wait, let me see.
My little.
Where is it? Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. It's gorgeous, though.
Thank you.
See Matisse the cutouts yet?
No, this room was formerly Daphne Sometimes' room. So there are remnants. If I'm still alive, if my feed is still alive, you can see Daphne Sometimes is. That's the nails remaining from her wig wall.
Yes, the wig wall. It sounds like that. The wig wall sounds like that could be like the name of like some kind of weird children's like character.
Do I have the feet? Do I have the feet? I'm making a face.
Yes.
That's my wig wall face. I don't know about that.
What does Charlene do with her wigs? She does not put them on walls. Like
Well, you know what? Actually, Anthony, like I don't have that many wigs anymore. I just wear. I have this one extension. I have these human hair extensions that I wear sometimes, but I like having long brown curly hair, and I like that it looks the same every time. I just like having like bitch brunette hair, and every wig that I bought for 2 years looked exactly like that. And now I have a few, like I have this purple one, and I have this blonde, this like golden honey blonde one.
Is
and
that the one you out recently?
I've been out in both of them recently because it's my new thing to do when I'm too lazy to like make my own hair look good. I'll just throw on one of those two.
How do you feel about what was I gonna ask? I haven't done the extension game. I'm kind of interested in doing the extension game though.
You have so much body in your hair though. That
too much body?
No, I think that I put my extensions in to give me some body, which you don't need because you have those curls. Like you have Flashdance hair. You're sitting in front of you're sitting at home and you have Flashdance hair.
But I would like more up top.
Up top?
I would like a little more like, I wish my hair was like this a little bit.
Okay, so what you need is a fall, not extensions. A fall is something that gives you height here, and you put it in your real hair, like right here.
Okay.
It gives you height, and then gives you more hair, like out the back.
Okay, I need a fall.
Yeah, but you don't even really need one of those as much as you just kind of need to like amp your teasing and spraying game a little bit.
True. But I hate hairspray. I hate the way it makes my hair feel.
It's awful, right?
Because I still because I look divine and feminine, but then I want someone to touch my hair, and I'm like, don't, because like it feels disgusting.
That is the big. I hate when people come up and put their hands through a synthetic wig as though it were my real hair, like trying to be sexy. I'm just like, you're just stroking my hat. This is sexy. You know?
Yeah.
I had this guy come up and like when I first started doing drag, and I had like those gnarly ass, like I didn't really know how to take care of synthetic hair yet, so they were all matted. And he comes up to me and starts making out with me, and stuffs his hand into this like horrible ratted mess. And I'm like, that's gotta like not feel good. It feels like you're sticking your hand through a mouse hole into a rat's nest, kind of. I don't know how guys can get so turned on, but so many people are. I get Facebook proposition like with my drag look every single day. I'm just like, y'all don't know when it's real. When it's real, you know when it's real, but this ain't real. Anyways, what were we talking about? Facebook? Yeah, I like
Facebook and talking about your privacy on it.
Yeah, I have privacy on Facebook just because I do get personal on it sometimes, and I don't want any of the ghosts from my past in on that. And they would be if I weren't careful, because they come snooping around my goddamn Instagram all the time, which is just selfies and videos of me being stupid. But like, I just don't. People, you know, like. Some people just don't have any business knowing what's going on with me.
Is that because I was wondering, like, why you feel so invested in keeping this from them?
That's honestly a really good question. I'd say a lot of it is like the fact that anything that happened to me before I was 22 is very uncomfortable for me. So anytime that like anything rears its head that is from like really my like past life, it puts me back into this really like suffocating headspace,
Mhm.
And the little voice in my head that like the saboteur voice, as RuPaul calls it, gets
Uh-huh.
really really loud when there's negative criticism in the form of anything past somebody reading my look um, can really get to me. I don't know.
I
I
mean,
just
that's real. Like, that is really, like, I think a lot of people, I think that's, like, something we all kind of struggle and work through a little bit, I think. But I feel like for some people, it's definitely, I feel like I'm not worried about people back in my hometown because um, I'm really not friends with many people in my hometown, actually.
uh, yeah, I didn't have very many friends in that time
Mm.
either. But it's usually not friends. It's usually not former friends. I'm from a very small town in Alabama,
Mhm.
and it's known for its like catty, small town like gossip mill nature.
Okay.
And it was a very shaming when I came out. It was a very shaming experience, and I decided to just like sever ties completely.
Mhm.
So I've kind of developed this little like orphan boy in New York doing drag storyline
Mhm.
that gets old for me sometimes, but it's definitely explains the reason that I don't like, and I don't accept Facebook friends that I don't know just because like it's not that's not my Facebook audience. My Facebook audience is people who I know personally, or Mackenzie, who's probably watching at some point.
I
This
hope the Mackenzie is. Wait, can I ask, like, for the next mall goth? There was a mention at the last mall goth that we might have Mackenzie on because she works at Panda Express.
going to be intimately involved in this next week, coming up with promotion of the next Mogoth because she works at Panda Express.
Uh huh.
And so we're gonna get her to do some really dark, like gothy eyes and do some selfies in
Yes.
in her uniform. Um, she might be the best Facebook friend that I have.
I
Another
love
wearing
Mackenzie.
Facebook.
Mackenzie gives me hope for the future, I feel sometimes.
Well, Mackenzie really is one of my favorite Facebook friends, but also one of my favorite trans friends, just because she embodies so well the like I don't give a fuck nature that's so attractive to the trans mystique to me. This
Hmm.
really you know like fuck everybody and what they think. There's a youthfulness to it. Well, she is very young,
Hmm.
but the like sense of wonderment, um,
Hmm.
and also like this sense of utter not giving a fuck. I
Hmm.
think like makes the raddest bitch, and she's rad.
Do you
And
feel like, I mean, obviously we can't speak for her, but do you feel like she carries that into real life? Sometimes I worry that, like, we give this image,
what?
like, on Instagram or Facebook that we don't care, but then we still have these big insecurities in real life, and
What do you mean?
well, like we just give this. It's like a posturing. Like we like kind of posture. We give that bitch face, that that look. Like, oh, the world doesn't bother me. But then like you actually approach us in real life, and it actually does bother us. We want to be this unbothered look to this wider public, but we still feel vulnerable in actual real space and time.
Um,
But I
uh,
do feel that, like, even in, like, I kind of can give, like, a bitchy look, like, on the internet, but then, like, catch me on, like, a bus to, like, a gig or just out or something, and I feel vulnerable in a way.
I know what you mean, and I think that aloneness has a lot to do with that. Like when if you're like, if you're acting, if you're doing something on the internet, you're not really in a headspace where you're doing it as a solo thing. Like
Hmm.
you're doing it for your friends or your followers or whoever the fuck. Um, but there's something about solitude. I'm a lot less gregarious when I'm by myself, especially with people like guys who work at the bodega
Huh.
or with confrontation with strangers. If I have a friend with me, I usually can handle myself pretty well in those situations.
Hmm.
But I feel, there's something about being alone, being with like just with yourself, um,
Hmm.
exposed to the elements. It makes it really tough. Not just for trans people, like for like, you know, anybody.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's heightened though. People who do feel othered or on the outside in general of society, you're like I must now navigate this space as safely as possible to get myself from point A to B.
Right, and without like getting myself into something.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I've had those experiences. Like, okay, keep quiet and just keep moving.
Oh, it's uncomfortable too. I mean, like we as humans, we avoid discomfort.
True.
So, like, you know, are you gonna stand up on the subway or are you gonna sit down, which is more comfortable to you? Like, you're gonna try and not make waves because making waves is uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, I definitely don't try to sit down. I'm in a look because I feel like I might spook somebody. Like,
I do, bitch.
Them.
I'm in some high-ass heels. If I'm on the subway in a look, you can bet your ass. I'll ask people if I can sit down if I'm on the train.
Yes, I love that.
Well, part of that is like the bulletproof, like protective layer of drag.
Uh-huh. Which is totally true. Like certain levels of drag for me give me this bulletproof feel.
Well, that was I didn't really feel that until I had the blue contacts.
Uh-huh. Do you feel like that has stayed with you now after post blue contacts?
No, I feel like I snap back to normal.
Okay. There wasn't like a transference of power.
No, it was definitely I mean, like, drag for me is like bringing the inside to the exterior.
Yeah.
And so, like, there's something very extremely vulnerable about getting in drag for me.
Mm.
And I'm not really turning into a character. I don't really get bitchier, and I don't really like change. I guess like I'm in the mood to socialize more, but who isn't when they're going out? Like I'm kind of me with my volume turned up to 10, but it isn't. I felt like I was being in drag makes me feel vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I'm very accountable to whatever I do because I feel like it's my real self, my best self, like doing that. Which is great for performing, but like at the same time, like I don't really like being particularly bitchy or anything and like blaming it on the fact that I was in drag just because it's like it's not a facade for me as much as it is like you know, changing the outside to match what's going on the inside. It's the most incredible thing in the world. But some girls like are transforming into other people, and so it makes them feel in turn this invincibility that to where they can kind of like the drag self and the boy self are two completely different people. And I only felt like I was not acting like myself after those goddamn blue contacts, because I felt like I'm really a sucker for that whole eyes are the windows into the soul thing. You literally have windshield wipers or like blinds over the windows to your soul. I had blue eyes. Like I don't know. I mean, like, you know, it's probably trivial and silly. I can move on.
Okay. Okay, so we did our introductory question.
Yes, we're done with the introduction here at an hour in.
Hey, you know what? It's a chat between friends.
Girl, I was really worried that I wouldn't be able to carry this conversation as much as all of these really intellectual queers that you've had on your little podcast show.
Don't put yourself down, Miss. Miss has a recent piece in Next Magazine.
Oh, yes, honey, the intellectual bastion.
Yes. On every bar top in New York City.
Right next to the first-hand eyewitness hard-hitting reporting of the bar fight between Mary Cherry and whoever the fuck, those strangers at TNT.
And the Go-Go Boy of the Week.
And Go-Go of the... Do they still do Go-Go of the Week?
I think so. I don't know.
No, I love
I'll
Next.
be honest, I've never actually like read a Next magazine fully in a print edition.
I have. I love Next magazine. I really like the spirit that it holds of connecting all of nightlife somehow. Even though I think that like whatever social media platforms we have do that better these days. I really like that there's like a New York fag rag that people still look at and read, and where you can still see photos from all the hottest parties of the week, and I really love the boys who work there too.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of them have, a lot of the fag rags have like closed up shop in the internet age. And like now like,
Bueno.
if you're in Next magazine or you're like in the LGBT section of Time Out. It's like the only kind of press beyond like gay digital press like Gay Letter or something.
Well, it's really the most, and I know at least specifically with Mark, like Mark is gonna have his eye is going to make sure that whatever the magazine is published or whatever say he has in what is published in the magazine is going to be representative of the voice of the city, or at least of nightlife in the city at the time, which is not something you're going to get from New Now Next.
New Now Next avoids all actual relevant gay things. They're just like celebrities.
Yeah, it's pretty despicable, isn't it?
It's basically Us magazine in like, but slightly gayer.
New Now Next.
Yeah.
It's very homogenous. It's very patriarchal. I find New Now Next to be very patriarchal.
And it feels like their audience is specifically like the Midwest gay person. So they don't feel like anyone who actually lives in the city is like, oh my god, did you see what was on New Now Next?
I don't know, Anthony. I really think that there are a lot of gay people in this city who keep up with and consider New Now Next to be like a source of gossip, or like, you know, a viable source of information. I really do, and I think that it's because I think it's I was talking with Audley the other day, who's a lovely fairy friend of mine, and he said that he said something that I've never really heard framed this way before, and it's stuck with me through this whole week so far. Is he said that one of the hardest things about being gay is making peace with the fact. I'm paraphrasing. Making peace with the fact that you're not going to get the life that you were promised. And I think that our whole problem with, especially the queer lens into mainstream gay culture at large, of the white, cis, male experience of being gay on the west side of Manhattan, is that a lot of that kind of person is trying really, really hard to prove that they're going to have the kind of life that they were promised growing up before they were even out of the closet and like were taught to hate themselves. It's coming from this like really like guttural, like base chakra level feeling of ungroundedness. And for that reason, I'm really like sympathetic and empathetic towards that whole cause. I don't know how the fuck I got there from New Now Next, but there you go.
I mean, I definitely.
Wait, should that be one of the links? Wait, no, that's not a link. It's a quote. Should we do some links?
Sure. If you want to jump into some links, do you have a link? We always promise links on this here thing.
Yeah. Wait, isn't that kind of the format of the show? Is that we're supposed to like talk about what we've been doing on the internet?
Yeah. What have you been browsing this week, girl? What are you do? What does your browsing history look like? I mean, obviously you can only share what you want. I don't force anyone to like force their hand on here.
Huh?
I don't force anyone to show everything they've browsed because some people get uncomfortable. But
I don't get uncomfortable really. Unless like we were talking about before, unless like, you know, your intentions aren't good, unless you're a bad witch. I'm usually pretty forthcoming about everything, I think.
Give myself a side swoop, I think.
Oh, yeah? Are you changing the hairdo? Well, should we talk about the hair products? We were going to get into that earlier.
Oh, yeah. Should we talk about hair? Let's talk about hair a little bit.
I'd love to. It's one of my favorite things.
Do you want to go first? Like, what is your hair care system?
My hair care system is actually very simple, as I believe anyone's should be.
Okay.
It is, I just make sure that my shampoo is sulfate-free. I use tea tree because I have dandruff, and it's good for your scalp. Tea tree oil is good for your scalp. So I do a non-sulfate tea tree shampoo. Sulfates are the chemicals that make shampoo foamy and bubbly when it gets in your hair.
Yes.
But they, in turn, strip your hair of its natural oil, which sulfate-free will not do. It will just clear you of the debris and the actual, like, grease that makes your hair feel dirty. And I have a good conditioner. Conditioner is kind of a wash. Like, it's all kind of the fucking same. And I have a good hair mask that I use whenever I need it, whenever I'm feeling a little crispy. But aside from that, I don't really do much. I just make sure, if you want your hair to stay good, I make sure that I never treat it with heat styling. If I do, like if I need to actually if I need to style my hair to go out, you need a good thermal protector.
Do you recommend a good thermal protector? Because I have no clue about them. Because I don't use heat, but I would like to.
Thermal protection is one of those things where you can get the cheap version, and it's pretty good. I have this spray from Tresemme that I put in my damp hair before I blow dry it.
Okay.
But sometimes, you know, if you want a little more, if you want it to get some style from it, you can get a thermal protector like mousse. That will give you some like body and some control too.
Oh, okay, good to know. Because I normally stay away from all heat. For me.
Yes, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the best plan. That's the best practice. Stay away from heat. And never...
I love that there was a New York Times article like a few months ago about like the return of curly hair and how like women wake up at like 6 in the morning to let their hair air dry before they go to work.
What?
Yeah, I mean, it's talking about, I guess, women in the workplace, like, I guess they would wash their hair in the morning, but they wouldn't want to blow dry it as they normally would to keep their curls. So they would have to, like, get up, like, extremely early in order for their hair to, like, dry in time to go to work.
I like this.
Queen.
I have a crown now.
Yes. My routine is, I thought I bought a sulfate-free shampoo, because it said it was sulfate-free, but it has like some kind of other weird sulfate in it. It's like a bedhead product.
Oh yeah, no, that's loaded with sulfates, girl.
Yeah, so I'm just finishing it up.
Bedhead is loaded with sulfates. Yeah, I don't. Sometimes it's kind of like that organic thing. Like, you know, sometimes people tack onto the trend, and don't follow through with.
And I bought it online, which is my fault. Because I didn't then get to read the label itself to see the ingredients.
You know, I don't like buying anything online.
Oh.
I really don't. I like to be able to hold it in my hand.
Well, I do it now. I do it once I know I like the product.
Yeah, but you just talk about the bedhead, girl.
I know.
Was that an exception?
That was the exception because I bought it online before I actually bought it in person.
Here's the real tea. I don't like having to wait for the package to show up.
I mean, Amazon Prime, it's like 2 days.
No. I mean, like, in your house waiting for the dude to show up on the day it's coming.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, now I avoid that. I do the Amazon Locker, or, I get it sent to my office.
What is the Amazon Locker?
Girl, you know about Amazon Locker? If
No.
you have Prime, they have, these, things, at, different, spots around the city where they'll drop off your package. And then you have, 5 days, and you go and you enter a code, and you can pick up your package at any time. So you don't have to be home.
That is some trippy shit.
The one near me is in a 7-Eleven, so I can walk into the 7-Eleven at any time, enter my little code in, and, this locker opens up, I grab my package, and I have it. Because I can't trust my USPS here, because they lose things all the time, or they don't even deliver.
Fucking rad.
Yeah.
That changes the game for me.
Yeah, see if you have an Amazon locker near you.
I will.
Obviously, you can't ship like a bed to it, but like small things like hair care products or anything like that that will fit in.
Yeah. No, totally. I know what you mean. I lose so much of my day to beauty supply stores and fucking.
Though I do commit to, because my other part of my hair care is a leave-in conditioner from Kinky Curly.
Oh yeah. That's
They do
clutch.
sell online, but I like to support the local stores that carry them in Brooklyn. So I do buy those products with cash at local stores in Brooklyn.
Good for you.
That's like my one, because it's a small company, so it's like, and I think they're New York based originally, so I just want to like support them and like keeping their products stocked in like local stores.
I am very charmed by the local shopping, you know, like keep it local mom and pop thing. But I don't think that there's anything that we can do to. I don't think that any amount of shopping locally is going to save the situation at this point, honestly.
I kind of, well, then you kind of have like this reversal from like Amazon. Now Amazon opened up its own brick and mortar store in Manhattan.
What, they sell brick? What do you mean by brick and mortar?
Brick and mortar means like actual physical location where you can actually like there's like a showroom. That's what these people mean, brick and mortar.
I didn't know
like, literal, like bricks and mortar built to like build a building.
Yeah, that doesn't make much sense to me. That's kind of antithetical to the point of Amazon, right?
It is, but I think they're also like wanting to capture like a more high-end market or things where like they're realizing you can't sell online. There's some kind of experience they can't recreate yet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what exact products they're carrying there.
Why are you guys asking us questions?
Have they not asked us questions?
I don't know. You tell me.
We have Jizabella. She didn't have a question. She just told us I love the hair.
Thank you, Jizabella.
Thank you, Jizabella.
Are you the Jizabella, the traveling drag queen, Jizabella?
Possibly. I don't know. This is a question. Join us on the chat room, Jizabella.
There's a Jizabella who I know of who like travels really all up and down the East Coast and like is this really fierce like traveling like gig queen.
Ooh.
But I can't think of any logical explanation of why she would be devoting her time here on this Sunday evening to watching you and I. Although if that is you, I'm very flattered, as should be.
I mean, we get a lot of surprise viewers. I feel it's a Sunday night. I feel like people are like just kicking back, relaxing. It's simple. You just open your browser, and here we are.
Well, kick back and relax, guys.
Yes, the queens are here.
Listen, I think I found a good link. I was browsing. I was browsing earlier this week. I'm reading this really good book right now.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you could post to the showcase. I can, but we realize you can't. So you can like send it to me and I'll post it in the showcase.
Okay. Hang on.
Sure.
I'm doing this fucking thing right now. Okay. The link is I'll just say it and then you can put it on the showcase. Is that cool? The link is called breakingopenthehead.com.
Breakingopenthehead.com.
Yes. And it's safe for work.
Okay. By Daniel Pinchbeck. Yeah.
It's a book. I'm reading the physical version right now. I discovered, much to not my surprise, it actually makes perfect sense that the entirety of the book is available by going to this website, and you can just read it on this website.
Oh, wonderful. So what is this about exactly?
The book is called, the like tagline is something like a contemporary version, like a look inside contemporary shamanism and psychedelic drugs.
Ooh.
Psychedelics. And it's all about it's like this guy's ethnographic view into, he did a bunch of like ceremonies in the East with shamans.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of like a first-hand account, but he also breaks down psychedelics and their reception and current attitudes towards psychedelic drugs in the West,
Mm-hmm.
and the explanation for it. And it has been one of the most gaggy, orgasmic reads I've read in quite some time.
Mm-hmm. And why is it made you gag so much?
Well, I owe a lot of I owe quite a bit of personal growth to the practice of Peruvian, specifically shamanism, and the use of plant sacraments as a mode of enlightenment and personal growth.
Uh-huh.
And so I wanted to learn a little more about that, other than the limited lens that I have into that world.
Mm-hmm.
And I also struggle a lot reconciling the fact that at the end of the day they're like drugs. And
I haven't really done any psychedelics yet. That's kind of the only drug I'm kind of really interested in actually.
Oh,
doing.
really?
Because I feel like there's a lot of, like, I'm a science-based girl, and I feel like there's a lot of good actual science behind the use of psychedelics as, like, a treatment process of, like, depression, and there's a more feeling of connectedness to the world, I feel. So I definitely, like, that's on my list of things I'd like to do. But then I also want to do it, like, in a safe manner or something. I don't know.
Oh, yes, honey, you gotta set up the space.
Right? Like you have to enter it. I've done lots of reading, obviously. I'm a reader.
Yeah. Well, then read a few chapters of this book. I think you'll like it.
Okay, but I know like you need to go in like a good headspace.
But
and be outside. Probably.
Scientifics have made believers out of science girls.
There's actually a related video series that I watched a while ago, but I really love.
What?
Find it.
Huh?
It's oh, what is her name? There's this. Oh, here she is. Neuro Soup. I don't know if you've ever seen Neuro Soup.
No, I haven't. Is that
Neuro Soup is like this. Like, it's actually interesting because, well, I mean, she kind of looks hippie-ish in a way, but she's like this actual neuroscience like major or whatever.
Yeah, I'm down.
Oops. And she just looks very unassuming. Because the link I had, I got the link to her because she talks about doing MDMA. Or no, maybe it was MDMA? Some drug she did like anally. Yeah, because like there's like an actual article on it. There's an article on her somewhere like in Vice or whatever, but she actually like describes the experience. Where's her home? Like, god damn it. So she just looks like a very unassuming girl who you're like, oh, like she just looks nerdy and like wholesome. And then like she just goes in on like these videos, and she actually like tries to like really describe her experience and trips. So you can like see it here. I posted a link to it.
Some shady dealers are distributing it and not even telling people that it's 25i if you're doing it. Instead, they're telling people that it's LSD.
It's just all these really great, actually like in-depth, like kind of educational drug videos that I find very interesting.
That's so ridiculous. I'll get into it though.
Get into it. She's really cool. I like her. As like a personality.
That's really cool.
It's better than those girls that they show on the subway who making cupcakes and like funny faces.
Well, yeah, right. Well, in the book in the text rather, Breaking Open the Head, he's talking about really is like debunking kind of the like fear culture involved with psychedelic drugs, and kind of suggests that the very fact that people achieve I don't want to say enlightenment because I don't want to bring like specific Buddhist terms into this. That people achieve a spiritual awareness. The very fact that people grow and like achieve knowledge that is supposedly given to them by the earth itself is the very thing that is being outlawed. Which kind of sounds a little conspiracy theory, but it's something that I really dig because, like, it kind of, in my opinion, is the answer to a lot of, like, problems with the world and the people in the world. Specifically, the patriarchy, I think, would crumble pretty quickly if everybody was, like, tripping all the time and, like, saw reality in a different way. It really like
all the time. I feel like a lot of I've read is like post a psychedelic experience, like it actually really like mentally creates new pathways in your brain. Like, like there's an actual after effect to it. It's not like you have like the experience on it, but then there's actual changes in your personality afterwards that like resonate.
I agree with whoever said that wholeheartedly. I think that's another reason people might be afraid. But I think that it really, the truth of it is that it, at least psychologically, is that it offers you a different perspective. That it really offers you a chance to get outside of your own perspective and your own scope and see reality in a different way, which really it's just really it elucidates the subjectivity of the reality that we live in, or of our specific realities, rather, should I say? Just how subjective your own experience is. I think to get outside of that is something that is very, very helpful. Has been very, very helpful to me in like learning to deal with life and learning to deal with like being on this planet, and also on this planet as someone who like a queer person, like someone who most of the people on the planet don't want to be part of the party. It's just really like I really believe in it, and I really with caution, because this really isn't like something for everybody. But I think that this book really offers you a look into like what it's like to be someone who goes through go through those rituals, and then give you the context of like what this means for the Western perception of psychedelics. I don't know. We can move on. It's just something that I was like really, and therefore it makes sense to me that this guy put his whole book online, because the tone of the book is really like, it's kind of this like gospel, like spread the word kind of book, which is my favorite thing to read.
That's good though. I definitely feel the idea of the fear, because that's why kind of I'm definitely a child, or maybe a success story, unfortunately, of like the DARE program in a way.
I won the 5th grade DARE essay.
Yes, mama.
I won this big old plaque that I hung in my bathroom, and I won the stuffed lion with my words, with the brilliance, my control over the English language, and my dexterity with prose. Whatever.
I think that like, kind of the DARE program kind of did that, and then plus like my family has like a very long history of like mental illness. And
Oh
I just
yeah.
remember reading somewhere that like your brain isn't fully developed until like you're 27, and that like a lot of like kind of psychological issues that like are in my family kind of arise in your early adolescence and can like be
Mhm.
brought on, especially by like psychedelics or other kinds of drugs. So I've always kind of, because I've seen these people grow up with these like mental illnesses and struggle with them, and I'm always like, let's not bring on like a roaring fire if I don't need to bring on a roaring fire yet, you know?
Right.
But
I
now
mean,
that I
it
am
really is.
entering my 27th year soon, I'm like, well, nothing's happened yet. So maybe it's time to give it a go.
Not that you know of, at least.
Not that I know of, at least. I might be crazy or extremely depressed, but I'm just not sure yet.
No, I think you would know.
I think I would know by now.
It's not like one of those. The first step is not admitting you have a problem. I think you know.
Yeah, and
I've
also,
been depressed
there's
before,
lots of
and
research now where like psychedelics are actually proven to like help with depression. So if I was depressed, I'd feel a whole lot better about it.
It immediately releases you of this feeling of being trapped. It is really, and the thing I love too, Anthony, it's
Mhm.
not like a drug. It's not like a drug in that it's like, there's some street level like fuckery, like pure drugs. There's no pure drugs anymore that you get. Like party drugs, all this like Molly, fucking Coke, like, drugs.
Yeah.
Um those are dangerous because they're harmful to your body. I'm talking like plants that came out of the ground and you brew them into a tea.
hmm
You
Is that how
know?
you take it as a tea?
I've done a few different ways, but that's probably the most conventional in like Western shamanism at least is
Oh.
like boiling because it's the roots
Uh-huh.
of particular plants which they boil into tea. It's all nasty. It's all disgusting, but it's not like a nice like sit down for a cup of tea.
I just imagine you like,
It's also not, I also wouldn't describe any psychedelic experience as one that's particularly like fun. Like drugs tend to be like, oh, I had so much fun like going wild on these drugs. It's like not like necessarily a good time as much as it is like a revelatory experience.
oh. Huh.
I don't know. I felt like
A
bringing
good
it up because
time
it's something
versus
that
revelatory. I'm trying to think about that.
Huh?
A good time versus revelatory as two different.
Yeah, there's trips that I've had that have been very difficult for me to get through, and I've learned some shit that was like really hard for me to digest.
You feel it let you access those parts you normally ignore in yourself?
Yeah, just like the true sickness of the earth is something that I really see a lot more vividly now, like just how sick our world is.
hmm
Not just people, but just like what we've done to it.
hmm
It's kind of hippy dippy, but like, all the global warming and like we're killing the bees. It really is and just like the scope of famine and poverty and it really like offers you this empathetic look into like the heartbeat of the earth
hmm
and the earth is hurting really badly and life is really cruel a lot of the time and that's something that like you get a lot more vivid a picture of after engaging with the sacrament. That's what like hippies like to call it. Like like it's not necessarily a pleasant experience as much as it is like a growing. It's like
Yeah.
going to the gym. It's not like fun.
But it feels good afterwards. Like it's not made feels good, but it feels it was worthwhile.
I don't regret it. I don't regret it. I'll say that.
Okay.
Like
You don't
I really
That's important. You don't regret it.
no. I'm glad I did it.
Okay. Wonderful.
With you, I feel like I heard.
What?
Am I just feeding back? I feel like I heard someone else.
Oh no, it's just me and you, girl, and one other viewer right now.
What happened to the other
viewer?
We're talking about drugs.
I guess they're not into drugs.
Let's move on then.
Um,
to talk about? We're browsing.
I have a link for tonight. Where was it? Oh my god. Here we go. My link, one of my links this week is this wonderful interview with Jenna Wortham. Wortham? Wait, let me see how her name's pronounced. Jenna Wortham. She's like a writer for the New York Times.
Yeah.
She writes technology for them. She's a gorgeous woman of color. My
favorite kind of woman.
I know. She's just so wonderful, and I love she's just really insightful about writing about like technology and social media. And there's just this interview today, or not today, a little bit ago, with her just personally on Pico, Pi.co, Pico, I think it's just called. It was just a great like interview back and forth, and kind of what stood out for me, they eventually got talking about social media and kind of social media as this new economy that is possibly exploiting workers in a way, like kind of that, like it's, I don't know if you know, but it's kind of known that like most of Twitter is black or people of color a lot.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, a majority of Twitter is actually black.
No, that makes perfect sense to me now that you say that. After like a really quick trip down that current trending hashtags, it's pretty ghetto.
Well, I would say ghetto. I don't know why. I don't like the word ghetto, me personally. But
I don't mean to say like tie people of color to ghetto in the sense.
It's definitely an acknowledgement, and I feel like it's recognized. There's like a black Twitter. There's a black Twitter.
There's a black Twitter.
Like there's like kind of a subculture within Twitter itself.
In the way that there is a drag Facebook, there is a black Twitter.
Yeah.
In that way,
Tumblr, like there's actually still kind of these segmentations that there were popularity or conversations will happen, but not necessarily bubble up to the larger sphere of these services, I think.
Okay.
And she was just kind of commenting on what does that mean when like majority of the people making money or running these companies are white, but then the majority of their workers are people of color creating the actual content and the actual interest in these like platforms. And I mean, I don't have much more to say that, but I just thought it was a great thought to have of like, or just ourselves, I guess, as me and you and other people who are more public voices or personalities in a way, like making content that we aren't paid for necessarily, but like kind of funding these bigger organizations in a way.
Yeah.
We're working for free in a way.
What?
We're working for free in a way. I guess, I mean, by our own volition, but we're working, creating content for somebody else for free.
Right. It's the classic man story, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there's always someone in the top floor of the building with his arms crossed, watching everyone like scurry around and make him money, like he just makes money in his sleep.
But I think it becomes a bigger contradiction because we somehow, or at least I feel like a lot of us see the internet as this place of liberation from that. But as social media as a liberation from that. But ultimately, and it's still obviously, as you say, the white man in the tower making the money off of the little people.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that I agree that the social media space is something that's free of that. And it was really the whole Facebook name thing was really eye-opening for me in that way. That like we really don't really have the agency anymore. Also, if tomorrow my Facebook were shut down, I would not have documentation. I don't save the photos religiously. Like, when the name thing was going down, I went through and made sure to have on a separate hard drive every photo, documentation of me in drag, and it took a whole fucking day, you know? Like, they really...
There's a download button for Facebook.
Yeah, but that's only saves photos that you posted.
Oh.
The photos that are tagged of you.
Oh. I didn't know that. I thought it'd be like everything. Huh.
Yeah, and it's not even really like, it's really difficultly organized too. Like, it's kind of like cryptic, the Facebook.
Huh. But that also recently happened to you again, right? Like, only like a few weeks ago was you were banned again? Because I remember for like a few days, a few weeks ago, like I couldn't find you on Facebook.
No, I deactivated because I was butthurt about the B&As.
Here am I thinking like Charlene's been attacked again, and she's just deactivated because she's butthurt about the B&A.
Anthony, it was such a moment of weakness for me, and I can laugh about it now. But here's the thing: when that was released, I was like, I wasn't necessarily.
Wait, what happened with the B&As?
Okay, I can talk about this now. Weeks later, having like come out on the opposite side of this.
Okay.
So for whoever's gonna fucking watch this and make an opinion, like, I'm over this moment. Okay. I was not terribly expectant of, but was kind of gunning for the Drag Queen of the Year B&A moment, which, as we know, is going to our lovely, deserving, and talented friend Untitled Queen this year. Which probably was the case before, like, you know, there was even whisper of B&A's 2015. But when I was really surprised, like I said before, that I was nominated for social media, because I didn't at the time feel like I was like, I felt like I feel still very much like I use social media as an extension of a larger story that I'm telling as a drag queen. And in that moment, I felt very reduced to my Facebook, and not the fact that I am a performer primarily and a drag queen who like has an interesting contribution to the fucking queer zeitgeist of New York. Like, that's really like what I would rather like be. If I'm gonna be noticed, I would rather be noticed as a drag queen rather than a social media presence. That being said, I humbled myself, and with difficulty humbled myself, and I see it now as being recognized as the nomination as being recognized as like someone who says things, which of course like I'm very honored and flattered by. In that moment, I was just like, I'm not a social media presence. I'm a drag queen. And I felt very like in that moment I just felt very like reduced to my social media, which is something that like was like just a tacky feeling for me. So
for you don't associate primarily for yourself like social media and drag as like, or social media as performance?
I think that social media is more drag. Not that it's a performance, but like it's just like eyelashes. It's just like you're manicuring the way that the world is viewing you. So
I think for you, drag is very embodied. You know, as you were saying earlier, it's not a character to you, so it's not something for you to like that you feel like you can perform online for somebody. It's something that they experience in person with you.
And it's just like and when I'm on social media, I'm kind of like behaving in a way that I would behave if I were actually with someone. And, I don't think that like my voice is really filtered in any way on social media. Like I was saying, like I don't hashtag. I don't really know how to play the game, and I don't really care to. I just kind of like want to like cut up with my friends. Like I just want to talk shit and see all the looks. you know? And so, like, I was like, okay, I'm being recognized for talking shit and seeing all the looks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, like, doesn't seem like something that deserves recognition. At the same time, like, all awards, especially for something like nightlife, like, you know, where every award from a fucking Academy Award, the Oscars, down to, like, you know, best whatever in elementary school is like, what is this for? Like, we're just patting each other on the back.
Mm.
So, like, I kind of, like, I got out of it quickly, but in the moment I just, like, it felt very reductive. It felt reductive.
Wait, I need to get the actual sound effect clapping in here.
That I pulled out a Madonna quote. Thank you.
Girl, yes.
Thank you for clapping for my joke.
For the applause, applause, applause.
Oh, yes. Well, how do you feel about Gaga right now, Anthony?
I think she's coming out of the tail end of like a college-age career in performance art, and now she's a lady. You know, now she's back to being, now she's a performer. You know, now that she's done the Oscars, and she's going to be on American Horror Story. What?
How did you feel about the original Gaga, like the Fame monster?
I mean, obviously, I was in love with like the Fame when it first came out. The Fame itself, the album.
Yeah.
But I always questioned from the beginning when she started this performance party, like, who is Lady Gaga? Is she real? Am I real? What is it? Is it a performance? Like these kind of questions, is trying to elevate pop to this art standard in a way.
Yeah.
I was always like slightly like, is that bullshit or is it a true question? I think in the end I realized it was kind of just BS.
I think that the intention was very strong. And
it was just very college. Like it was like very like, oh, this is a person who's like in school and, you know, has this sudden epiphany and it's like, I'm gonna take it this place. Like, oh, I picked up a book and there was Andy Warhol in it. And then like decided not to actually read further and was just like, I'm gonna jump with this idea.
No, I know what you mean. I do think she did enough homework though. But I was really, we were in college at that time.
Yeah.
So, what?
Yeah, that's true.
I really went there with her. I was, like, really into the gospel of Gaga at that time.
I mean, I think I'm too much of a cynic to have, like, to be like I never identified as a little monster. Like once there became like a branding aspect to it, like you're a little monster or like, you know, like disco stick and all these like things that were like ways to like brand herself, which I guess was maybe part of this art message of like what is branding and what is like, well, you know, when do you change from art to being just like this machine? But I don't know, that just put me off. It was like I didn't feel like the branding was enough to. The branding wasn't self-referential enough or critical enough of itself, where it just felt like, oh, she's just getting her gig. Like, she's just getting some merchandise that she can, you know, sell to people and, like, name her fans with something to, like, make them join her. That's, like, my thought. That's where she lost me. And I was like, okay, I'm done. Like, it's not about this kooky, weird thing anymore. It's about, like, how can I identify people with me and make them, like, love me and buy my stuff?
She really bought herself.
Yeah.
She was selling herself, and then she bought it.
That's the thing that went wrong. She bought her own snake oil.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially, I feel like Art Pop was the snake oil of everything. Like, she just, like, she was like, oh, God. Like, she just overdosed on her, like, own ideas. Like, because she was unstoppable at that point. She had 2 successful albums. She had successful tours.
I love
Art
Pop, the album, the music. I love it.
I was in love with like 50% of the album, I think. I still rely on her for like dance music. I don't know about her other stuff. Like her other touchy-feely, like lift you up kind of stuff kind of doesn't vibe with me because it always feels empty to me. Like, I need something slower and just, I don't know, it always feels empty. But she's
Well,
good.
it's not exactly poetry that she's writing. So when she tries to do something other than like the Just Dance,
I love Swine.
or
Swine,
you know, the nice bisexual.
I love Swine. Swine off Art Pop, I thought that was going in a place, and I hoped she was going to go further with it. It was like some kind of weird, like...
You know, that's about Perez Hilton.
What?
It's about Perez Hilton.
It's about Perez Hilton? Oh, I didn't know that.
That song, yeah. Yeah, that's a little insider scoop.
Insider scoop from
Not that I'm an insider.
From a little monster. But what do you think about? Do you think she's trying to reinvent herself now with like the whole Tony Bennett Oscar thing?
I hope that she doesn't, honestly. I hope that she doesn't. I hope that she just nails Gaga. Like, I hope that she like nails it in the way that she can nail it. I don't really want to see her move musically towards anything. I think that this is a nice, like, the Tony Bennett thing is a nice respite for her. Mm-hmm. But I really want to, like, see Gaga do what Gaga does best again.
Do you feel like it was her just doing, like, a proving moment? Like, I'm not just this, like, shtick girl who does this weird look thing. Like, I can really sing and perform and, like, give you the old, you know, show and tell and the Oscars and whatever.
I think that she knows that she needed a time to prove to people that she had talent. Mm-hmm. Specifically and only singing talent. So that she didn't fall into this, like, into the pop princess category. And she really...
Perry trap.
What?
The Katy Perry trap?
Yeah, I think that she really like set the standard for pop music today, and that she kind of got lost in the mix, especially because of the Beyonce album that came out that year. Ooh, that was not good for her. Like, that was not good for her. I don't know. Should we move on from Gaga? Do we have anything else to talk about? We've been talking for 2 hours.
Do you have another link, or?
Let me see. I have a few good porn tumblers that I'm into right now.
Ooh, yes, ma'am.
This one specifically, I find it a little tedious that you can never find videos on Tumblr, and then it's mostly like GIFs or
Tumblr sucks as a video platform.
Does it?
Player, I don't know. When I do experience videos on Tumblr, they're uploaded and like being used through their service. Oh no. Have we lost? I think we just lost Charlene. Charlene! Oh wait, she's back.
I accidentally clicked out.
That's fine. I was like, oh no! Like, I think we lost Charlene. She mentioned porn and Tumblr, and Google just canceled her out.
No, I was going to this link.
Oh, okay.
I found another link.
Okay, wonderful.
This link is not necessarily a good link. Where should I put it? In the group chat?
Yeah, in the chat room. So everyone, go to the chat room if you want to see this luscious little link that...
This isn't my Tumblr. This isn't the Tumblr. This is a different...
the Tumblr. Okay. I mean, if it's an okay link... Oh, it's Vice.com. Yeah, you can share it with me. I'll click it. I'll share it on the showcase.
Okay, well, just look at it on the group chat.
Yeah, so there's a little chat button, everybody, at like the top left. Looks like two little like chat icons.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll put it in the showcase as well. Da, 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 da.
So this article that Anthony is bringing up right now is like called "A Guide to Tucking Your Mangina."
Ooh.
From Vice, and it honestly is one of the most horrendous. I don't know that it counts as transphobic, but it's definitely the most meat-headed, horrible fucking bullshit that I've read in a very long time.
So what's problematic about it?
It's problematic. I don't like that word, but it's problematic.
What don't you like about the word problematic?
I don't like the word problematic because I think it is really abused, and I think that a lot of times, we take on that we willingly stay on the cross. That we're, you know what I mean? Like, I think that we can just, like, sometimes just fucking laugh at things and be done with it without them having to be problematic. I think that I tend to believe that saying things are problematic perpetuates, like, it's about perspective, you know? Like, it's either problematic or it's, like, something that is beneath your sphere of consciousness, you know? Like, you just have more consciousness than the person who said that does. And you can create a lot of empathy in that way. And then it's just kind of like a shitty thing to say that something's problematic rather than something pisses me off. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a way to say that you're taking offense to something without taking agency in the situation. You're saying that is problematic in and of itself rather than that bugs me or that like I don't like it. You're saying that you're like putting it all in that other thing when in fact like your perception, that's what we're talking about. But that being said, I find this article extremely problematic.
Okay, so please go in on why.
Because it's the audience of the article is supposedly cisgendered and kind of even straight men, and it's saying this is how the trannies, and I love the word tranny, Anthony, but I'm not about fucking people telling straight men how the trannies do it. Like, it's like people who are going to the internet to learn how to tuck are young trans women. And this is the article, when you Google tucking, this is one of the first articles you see.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So you get a few forums of like faceless cross-dressers on message boards telling you how to do it. And then the only really polished article or like internet space devoted to it is this horrible how to tuck your mangina. And it has all the diagrams are dudes with bananas and limes and like fruit in their, like, near their genitals.
Well,
and
this is actually just like sausage casing.
Sausage, right?
Yeah, it's just sausage.
It's just like, it's like very it's very masculine in this way that's very uncomfortable to me. It's like like it's assuming that people are tucking to like as a gag or to like take photos with the bros, and not even in a homoerotic way. It's kind of like it's kind of like offering access to this thing that some people take very seriously. And is a very big necessity, and like repackaging it in this way that's like kind of like stupid.
I feel like that's kind of always been Vice's problem in a way. It's very othering and exoticizing of lots of things, and like wants and always tries to present them in this what's the word I want to say? Tries to present it in a like a dangerous but cool thing that like you as like the educated or outsider viewer gets to experience. Like you will know this, but your like uncool friends won't know what tucking is or how to tuck. Right. You know? It's this very
also the advice in it, it's not actually how to tuck, so it's kind of okay by in that way. It's like really rookie tucking.
Rookie tucking, yes.
And they're like, this is the pro. They like give you a few different ways, and the last way is like involves fucking super glue, and it's like this way is the way that the ancient Chinese transsexuals, or like something like that. It's like this is the like Mac Daddy. This is the ultimate tuck, and I'm like, you're not supposed to super glue your dick up your asshole.
No, that's like something you do like on American Pie.
Yes, It's the American Pie version of how to tuck. And
the American Pie tuck is super gluing your penis. Like, no, girl.
It makes me really horrified. It's really inspired me. Like, I kind of want to, like, research some Google optimization, like some search engine optimization, and, like, figure out a way to get a viable tucking instructional, like, that isn't gonna, like, teach like young girls like Mackenzie that tucking is like a laughing matter, or that it's like something that's stupid, and like it just like really like I think would really like make like in this very real way like make a mockery of their sexuality, or not their sexuality, of their like expression and their gender identity to them in a way that I really am not I really like am very, very difficult to offend on this subject.
Mm.
Like, and I really like it, like, is really like, it bothers me that like, that trans girls are like reading this bullshit.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I think a lot of our experiences of growing up, especially our generation, is like a lot of our queerness and gayness was like built online first, you know?
Yeah.
Where we're like first seeing like even like gay sex online. But then also just like going on question forums, like we know now that we've seen gay sex, we've seen like what bottoming is, but then we're like, how do you bottom? And we're like researching tips and tricks, and we don't know who's writing these things or what.
Do you think you can learn how to bottom online?
What?
Do you think that you can learn how to bottom online to where when you are in the situation where you're going to bottom that you would know how to do it?
I think you can make yourself believe that. I think especially without experience, like you feel like you've researched enough where like you can be ready for the experience no matter what it is.
How fucked up is that?
Well, I think that's the world we live in. A lot of our world now, I think, is like people want to have as safe as experience as possible, and so they research to the point of thinking they can eliminate any kind of bad experience or game out any kind of bad end game for themselves, or remove the unexpected.
Yeah.
And I think that comes definitely with queerness, where like you don't have access to an adult, or don't have access to seeing like how something works. So then you're just trusting these online voices, thinking like, oh, there are these gay people who've done it, so I'm going to trust what they say.
Yeah.
Or just like, even I sometimes browse Reddit and go to like these weird subreddits where I guess kind of people are coming out or just asking like still those basic like gay sex questions.
Uh-huh.
But they'll even be basic questions like, how do I make myself appealing to a top? And someone will say like, oh, you should bleach your asshole, as though like that's like the definitive answer. Like that's like how to do it.
That's so funny.
It's funny, but also scary, because I think coming from your perspective of like, you know, trans people looking for advice or like how to really experience themselves and do it, or you know, there is this misinformation or like not a contextualization of what people's advice is.
Yeah, I guess that my experience as like raised to distrust the internet has kind of like precluded me seeking answers on the internet.
Ah, okay.
That like
I still as though know as much as I shouldn't. I kind of trust the internet in some ways sometimes.
Well, I'm all about a message board where people are agreeing with each other. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like especially like product reviews, I'll really trust that shit.
But I definitely think you're right. There needs to be. I would totally support you in like a website of your own or a Tumblr of just like walking through like your experiences and other people's experiences and making this definitive guide. Or not definitive, but because I don't think it can be definitive, but this guide in a way that's actually truthful to experiences and not this problematic thing.
Right. Well, so much of like so much of the like the way to learn about about being trans on the web is drag specific. So it's like if you're learning how to do makeup online, you're learning how to do drag makeup online. And like if like you're learning how to pad, you're learning how to pad like a drag queen. Like there's not really this like how to change your appearance as a young person, not in a way that isn't gonna like turn you into a drag queen. And like I was just like really it really upset me that like that people turn to the internet and what they see is Vice. And I don't even know what the vendetta against Vice is other than what you just told me. But people seem to have a real chip on their shoulder around it, and I feel like I understood why after reading that. I was just like, and this is what's coming out of Williamsburg right now. There's that whole level attached to it, like that it's kind of like taking over the space where formerly like, you know, Sugarland was there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's always, and then was it the owner of Vice who said some homophobic shit or something?
I don't know.
I don't know if I remember correctly, so don't quote me on that, but if I remember correctly.
People say homophobic...
For that really quick. Vice, owner...
I never really fault people for saying homophobic shit, because someone who says homophobic shit to me is like someone whose opinion is therefore invalidated, no matter their audience. Like, it just kind of like... I can't indulge a reality in which that person knows what they're talking about or has any sort of credence to a degree where it just like makes me not care anymore. It just makes me kind of above it. Does that make sense? Like that Chick-fil-A guy, I'm just like, no, this is some old Christian asshole who's never like, he's like never bothered to look outside the scope of his own life in this like restaurant chain that he started where he gets to go to church on Sunday. I'm just like, he's like this old faggot hater, like, you know, don't eat his chicken if you don't want to, but it's not like, I don't see the like benefit of the outrage, because it's just like so like not, it's a non-issue to me. Like it's just this like old asshole. I don't know.
Maybe it wasn't homophobia. I think it was like sexism or something.
Oh well, that's a different story. No, you know, it's just like, let the muggles mug, girl.
Let the muggles mug while you beat your mug.
I think we've started trailing here, have we?
A little bit, but that's fine. It's a conversation.
It is a conversation. I'm still having fun.
I'm still having fun.
I am getting
We have 4 viewers still.
Oh, do we?
And it's 12 o'clock at night, so we're doing pretty good, I think.
Who's viewing now?
I don't know who's doing right now, but Cher Noble did comment in. She left questions. Not really questions.
What are they?
She said I think you can see them too, maybe.
Oh, Cher texted me to ask
me to take the crown off. Charlene, I can't believe you aren't blue.
Oh, I know, right? I should have come straight from work.
I mean, why didn't you? You need to cross-promote, girl.
Girl, it's just so, like, it's so taxing being in that blue night after night.
Your towels are just always a mess.
Yeah, it's just eating up my towels. I just have to get all blue towels.
Your toilet clogged the other day and all there was just blue water coming out.
I find it really ridiculous that people... I know that I pulled a show. I know that I pulled a major show and I was like swearing that I was in Blue Man Group. I don't know why people bought it though. Like, I really don't know.
I mean, you had me on the edge.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wanted to believe that it was a joke, but I also wanted to I was like, I don't know if she's ever expressed this, but I know you're kind of a little bit of a theater person in general. Like, you're not just drag, but like, you like are very interested in theater, so I was like, maybe she like really wanted to like step up her like theater game or something. Which I mean, sure is like the Blue Man Group, but
right. But the Blue Man Group is very specific. Like the Blue Man Group show is acrobatic. It's like very like you have to rehearse for a long time and have this very specific skill set.
Yeah.
And it's musical. Like you have to play instruments too. So it's just like I feel like anyone who knows that would know almost immediately that I wouldn't be able to make that cast, one, and also wouldn't be doing it. I wouldn't be on stage in less than a week from auditioning.
That is true.
The original gag was, because this all started when I was just last Sunday, I was driving home from Maine, and I was just like in my head, like, and I just thought of the Blue Man Group for some strange reason, and I thought this is actually kind of an interesting lens into why this happened. I was thinking, like, the Blue Man look is one where all features are completely erased. Like they don't have hair, they don't really have features, they don't really have anything like, you know, any of the common like physical markers that make a man. Like, and so it's kind of this weird like you kind of have to like indulge gender in this really weird way because it's a blue men, like they're blue men. They're not like blue people. It's like the Blue Man Group. But why? What makes them men? The fact that there's only men in the cast? Perhaps. Well, what if they had a man in the cast who is actually a gender deviant? You know? Like it just was swirling around in my mind. I was like, that's so stupid. It just might work. And it did.
It did. You fooled the internet.
Well, so then when everyone bought it, I was like, okay, now I have to go somewhere with this. And so of course I called up Ari, who's really good at effects makeup, and I was like, I need you to turn me into a blue man for this Friday at Love Gun, because I was promoting this party, and so I was just going to be like, now I'm a blue man, and fucking people still bought it!
Yes!
I've been getting, Anthony, I've had to really cultivate this, I don't know how to respond to people, because I've been getting messages from acquaintances, or people who I haven't really talked to in a while, or people who I never really knew that well to begin with, like, congratulating me. And so I don't really, like, honestly, I didn't really feel compelled to, like, say, like, well, you know, like, I'm just being stupid, it's just shows, like, you know, like, I thought it would be funny, why would that be funny? Like, I don't know, I'm just a weirdo, like, get with the picture. Like,
yeah, I get it, because I've done it a few times before, like, I've joked around, and people, like, are like, oh my god, congratulations, and I'm like, oh, like, you don't understand that this is a joke.
Right. Well, I guess that's troll life. Trolls like us, girl.
I mean, it's true. I mean, I have people, like, tell me, like, they don't know when I'm joking and when I'm, like, actually being serious, because I've trolled.
People say that to me, and I say I'm joking every time. So just, like, every time, I'm joking.
Yeah, that's what I say. Like, you have to basically assume that, like, unless I'm kind of writing in a very long format, I'm, like, being completely insincere.
Yeah, right? Isn't that the base expectation on the internet? It should be.
I mean, it's weird to encounter actual sincere profiles on the internet, because you're like, oh, like people actually like when you say, like, people posting photos of, like, back home, like, people posting photos of their dogs and their kids and whatever, and you're like, oh, like, this is an actual sincere representation of their life.
Yeah.
But, like, me and you, like, we're not making personalities, but just, like, joking all the time. Like,
joking, yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's weird. You're like, oh, people are actually sincere on the internet. What is wrong? Like, this show is basically about insincerity, but also a mix of sincerity at the same time.
I don't think that, I don't know what I forgot what I was going to say. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was just thinking, how do I clean my brushes? I never thought of that.
Okay, so for the brushes where you only contact with powder, yeah. For those, so you have two different types of brushes. You have powder brushes, which is one of these.
Yes.
And you have cream brushes, which is one of these.
Okay.
So for your cream brushes, you're gonna need, what I use is like an oil-based soap, like a Castile. I use Dr. Bronner's.
Okay.
And you can really get that oil in there and break up the product
Mm-hmm.
and clean the brush. But for these, you don't really need something so intense. You need like a baby shampoo, perhaps. It's actual hair. It's hair. That's what the brush is.
Mm-hmm.
So like you just need to wash it like it's hair.
Oh, okay. Wonderful.
Alcohol too sanitizes them.
Okay, wonderful.
So if you don't really want to do the whole brushing moment, just like it evaporates quickly, just like alcohol them.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yes, there's your drag tips.
Drag tips, drag tips. One day Charlene will be on transformations.
Perhaps not transformations. Oh, should we link to my Drag Race article?
Oh, yes, we should. We actually should, because we kind of mentioned it, but we never actually linked to it.
I wrote an article for Next Magazine. I am now a columnist for Next Magazine by virtue of...
Are you officially a columnist?
Well, no, I was just going to say by virtue of having written for them more than once. And, and also by virtue of them being very pleased with the work that I give them.
Yes.
And you know, I'm like friends with those guys too, so.
Where's the article? Let's see.
The best eyeshadow in the world is MAC Shadowy Lady. That's my official endorsement.
Official endorsement?
Yeah, oh, you're browsing right now.
I'm browsing right now, I'm sorry. I'm browsing for your article, trying to find it.
It's called RuPaul's Russian Roulette. The title was not chosen by me.
It's very gay rag worthy.
Well, I never really knew how much writing for something that wasn't your own publication strips you of your agency with like how it's handled. Because as a writer, I'm very attached to my words, and I kind of write. I don't write poetry, but when I write, I treat it like poetry with a very intentional choosing of words.
Mm-hmm.
And to see it edited, even for like length, is very painful as a writer for me.
Oh. What did they edit out?
Nothing really specifically. There's a lot of stuff that was just chopped for length. Anecdotes, specifically to this article that we're about to link to.
Yeah, I linked to it on the showcase. So if you go to the showcase, you can.
How do I see the fucking showcase?
It looks like a bunch of tags.
Oh yes. Oh right. Look at this. Breaking Open the Head, Neuro Soup. Great. Yes, that at the bottom of the showcase. That is my Next Magazine article.
Did you want to give like a summary, I guess, in case people haven't read it yet?
Yes, in this article for Next, I talk about RuPaul's Drag Race, and I also talk about I talk about Drag Race in a very specific way through the lens of a queen who is yet to appear on the show.
Mm-hmm.
There in New York City specifically, there's this culture of queens who are like consider themselves above Drag Race is something that is very common in the city because they what they'll say is that like they don't want their image to be part of the RuPaul brand, or they don't want they kind of don't want to be nothing more in history than a contestant on the show, which is something that really doesn't hold water for me because like without RuPaul's Drag Race, your place in history is like a bar queen.
I mean, except for like a very select few queens. I mean, I think in queer history there are some well-known queens who have made.
There are, but RuPaul's Drag Race is the great equalizer. Like when you're pitted against other drag queens, like if Miss Fame had never gone on Drag Race, she would have been to this day or like rather, I'll say this when the season is over. Miss Fame would have stayed in this like heightened. She's one of the queens who seems to be like actually above the kind of like the scene that we have going on here in New York. Kind of isn't really a part of it to a degree where she kind of like reigns above it on an aesthetic level. She has a lot nicer shit than everyone, and she's a lot better at makeup than everyone. So she kind of like had a cute thing going on, and now Drag Race is exposing her flaws as a performer and her lack of pussy power, and it's like turned into this really, it's like not really cute for her so far. You know, that's we're yet to see how she ends up faring on Drag Race. I think that she'll come out on top. I really think that Miss Fame's gonna be fine. But it's just like Drag Race is something that's out of your hands. That's what the article talks about. Like your drag is in the hands of someone else at that point, and that's something that's very scary for a drag queen, because I think more than any other artist, the drag queen herself is the art, and especially when you're bringing in identity into the question here, it's like if someone critiques my drag, they're critiquing me. I think that any artist would feel that, but like it's tied to my body, it's tied to my brain, my creativity, and it's like there, you know, like all different parts of you have to come into your drag, like your wit, your intellect, your ability to walk like a woman, your ability to move like a woman, your ability to fucking talk shit about other drag queens. Like that's all coming into this pot in Drag Race. Whereas on something like Top Model, just your ability to pose and walk a runway. Or like American Idol, it's just your ability to have stage presence and sing. Like that's what you're doing there. A drag queen's drag is a lot more essential. I mean, we're bringing in my belief that, you know, drag is intrinsically tied to your identity, which a lot of drag queens disagree with me. But you're really handing your identity over to someone else, and that's a very, very frightful thing, especially when the show produces so many villains.
Yeah, it's definitely classic reality TV show where they're, especially after the first few seasons, I feel like it's gone down this, we need to create a villain for the season, and we need to create a hero that everyone can root for. So it's kind of gone down a formulaic, you know, rabbit hole, I think, at some point later down these last few seasons. In general, I feel, I don't know, I mean, I'm a little bit in the drag community, but not that much in the drag community, but
I think that you qualify. You come to shows.
I do come to shows a lot.
Which is more than a lot of faggots can say, and that's something I think, to me, that puts your voice in the forefront. As someone who is
I give shows rarely, but I give them here or there.
Yeah, well, I'd say that the shows that you give are more removed from drag and more into queer performance art.
Yeah, they're more performance arty.
That line, especially in Brooklyn, is like...
Who knows?
Right.
I definitely feel that it just feels like more like drag queens are just like are trying to gear their act or themselves towards success on Drag Race. Whereas for me, because since when I perform and do drag, like it's like a performance arty expression of myself. So for me, it's like the idea that I would try to win something purposely or construe myself purposely to win something just feels as the antithesis to what I want to do. So for me, it feels like Drag Race lately has just become like, oh, like to be a successful queen, you need to be on Drag Race. Whereas like the queens I'm thinking of as who you were saying who got like forgotten by history. For me, all those queens that I think I remember of are like all art performance queens who like transcended bar drag and have become, you know, performers in their own right respected by the institutional establishment in a way.
Do you think that's possible in a post-Drag Race world?
I think it's difficult, and I think a lot of people. What I think I now say, especially when I encounter people who don't go to shows a lot, or who are like straight people whose reference for drag is only RuPaul's Drag Race, is like you have to realize that RuPaul's Drag Race is not to find the best drag queen or like the next drag superstar. When she says that, she means the next RuPaul. She means the person who wants to be the supermodel, wants to have the album, wants to have the TV show, wants to do these bigger media things. Yeah. Not you want to perform and give good shows and give fashions and, live this experience of like an artsy experience or whatever, RuPaul, every challenge is basically RuPaul's career. If you look at every challenge, it's what RuPaul did to get where she is.
My main criticism of the show is that it is, in a very like real and intentional way, it's repackaging something that is not meant to be mass consumed.
Or something, as you're saying, personal. Like I feel like it's like for some people they think that that's the standard of drag. Yeah. I don't like that. And for me, drag is a very DIY. There shouldn't be a standard as if like you're a good queen or a bad queen or, you know what I mean? If whatever feels authentic to you, obviously if you want to step up your pussy and make yourself look like real fish and you're not there yet, then yeah, keep working at it. Right. But if that's not your thing, then like no one should be judging you from the corner being like, oh, she don't look so fishy now, don't she?
Yeah, I think that I don't think that fish is the standard for drag. But I do think that there is such a thing as polish, and that you either have it or you don't. Mm-hmm. I think that like that leaves room for clown drag or whatever, or like tranimal. I think that a fully realized look is a fully realized look, though, and that you either got it or you don't.
Yeah. Some people's looks are a little homey sometimes, and you're like, oh.
Well, it's not just about look. It's like. I'm just really I get really upset when there's drag queens who don't really realize the power of drag, or like what they're doing with gender, or why it's important, or why it's kick-ass, or why it's hardcore, like, or just doing it because there's like faggots who throw them $1 bills when they do it, like, and they're letting more and more queens like that onto the show. And
queens who are just doing it for like the attention they get?
Yeah, or just doing it for the attention they get, or doing it to be a part of something.
So you don't feel like they're not recognizing, which even RuPaul herself says sometimes, like the transgressiveness of being in drag. You don't feel like they feel that as much.
You need to understand that you are transgressing. Mm-hmm. You need to have a very clear understanding of the fact that you're doing something really fucking punk, and like go from there. Oh man, definitely. I don't know.
So definitely check out Charlene's.
Check out my article on Next. Check out the other article that I wrote for Next. They're called commentaries. It's kind of like Next version of an op-ed.
Oh. Well, let me find your other article.
My other article is called Drag is Not Just a Job or Drag Isn't a Job, one of the two. Mm-hmm. And that is where I talk about the spiritual implications behind being a drag queen, and also the irony behind some drag queens and their clinging to their masculinity.
Yes. That's how I feel a lot of the times. I'm like, stop clinging, girl. Let go. Just let it go.
Well, that's like we were saying before, like this whole, like, you're a cute boy thing. It's like, okay, thank you, but, like, I'm not a boy. I'm a drag queen. Like, You know, like, you're missing the point here. You missed the point officially. I'm not doing this aesthetically. I'm doing it because, like, it is written that way.
It's just written. It has been written.
It has been written.
So what do you think then about, like, I feel like I've only watched episode 1 of this season, but it feels like the main talk is that all the boys out of drag are cute.
I think that Drag Race is rad as fuck. I should say that. I think it is a great show, and I really like that there is anything that is trying to... there's one hand where it's being mainstreamed, and that's, like, bad, but also, like, people are enjoying drag on a large scale now. I think that that is so fucking awesome. Yeah, this current season... Yeah, there's a few cute boys. Pearl specifically. I don't know. There have been cute boys before.
Yeah, it just feels like, I don't know, there's more maybe conventionally good-looking boys, but I just feel like, I'm just like,
Well, we're officially in a time that's we're in Drag Race that's post-Drag Race. Like, everyone coming into it knows how the show is structured, and kind of, like, is the spontaneity of the show is not really, like, intact anymore.
That's what I loved about the first part of this show. Like, when it first came out, was like, no one knows what this is. Like, they're just coming on. Like, this is like I mean, not to pat myself too hard on the back here, but like what I feel like with browsing, like, no one watches this show. Most of my guests have, like, not watched an episode or only watched one episode. So, like,
I've seen Derek's and part of Shane's.
So people, but like, you just, like, come on, you're not sure what to expect, and, like, there's this feel of authenticity happening. Where, like, I feel like now, like, Drag Race has lost that authenticity in a way.
Yeah. Maybe.
Which what made it transgressive to me in the first place. Like, even more than the drag itself was that, like, these are drag queens, but they're real and authentic, and these are experiences they're having for the first time, and they're not prepared. Like, now everyone knows they got to have a character for the Snatch Game, you know? Which still baffles me when people don't have a good character for Snatch Game. I'm like, girl, if there's one thing you can prepare
that's
for.
One of the things for me, like, Snatch Game, it's like, if you can't do, to me, it's not about the strength of the celebrity impersonation, but if you don't have a close enough eye to watch and be able to imitate, you're not a drag queen. And if you don't have a sense of humor, you're not a drag queen. Like, I don't understand how many of these girls are failing at this challenge, because, like, that's like, supposedly one of the things that all drag queens do is sit around as little boys and watch these characters or these women who they want to be like. You should have a pretty solid impression at that point, and you should have your sense of humor about you as a gender deviant, as someone who realizes the farce behind gender. You should be able to tell jokes, you know, like.
I mean, I think I mean, this is just me because I like some older stuff, and some of the more ancient icons and queens. But I don't know, a lot of them, like, choose just really bad people, like Jennifer Lopez and, like, Katy Perry and Lady Gaga. They're not really personalities. They don't really have, like, a signature thing about them that makes them interesting.
That's indicative of not having a sense of humor. You don't know who's funny.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like, they just have no good taste in a good character who's funny.
Yeah.
Because they're also so mutable. Like Lady Gaga is changing one moment to the next. So what really is Lady Gaga?
Yeah.
But, like, some weird Pokemon Ditto thing. Can we talk about you? Do you have a relation to Charmander and Charizard?
No.
No, it's just the nickname that got thrown at you.
The nickname of Charmander. Well, first of all, the hard CH is something that reminds me of my old name. So it's not really, like, I don't feel like those Pokemon, like, really, like, are. It doesn't seem like a logical nickname to me, just because my name used to be Charlie. So, like, when I hear Charmander or Charizard, that's what I hear. It's like, like, I'm a soft CH now. But people.
Yeah, she has softened everything. Yeah.
I don't, but like, no, those were impressed upon me by the TRL crowd, the theater faggots in Brooklyn, because of the fact that it seemed like a logical, like, little monsters. Like, they said the people who follow my drag are Charizards, Charmanders, or Charmeleons.
Charizards, I think.
Yeah, Charizards. I don't know. Yeah, that's cool. If you're following my drag, like, I appreciate that, of course. So yeah, fucking Charizards, 100% go.
Get your t-shirt soon. Blending is necessary.
No, I don't really like Pokemon that much because I wasn't allowed to play video games. So I don't, like, to this day it's like whatever.
Oh. Why were you allowed to play video games?
My parents believed that they rotted your brain.
So what ended up rotting your brain then instead?
All the psychedelics, man.
Yes.
What rotted my brain? Coming out of the closet rotted my brain. Coming out of the closet ruined me to the normal human experience completely. Because everything, like, you know, I realized, I guess on some level I realized my whole life leading up to that point was an illusion. But the fact that I got to experience firsthand that everything in my life was a lie, I was like, okay, now I get to have fun. And, like, now I get to, like, you know, now I realize the like, subjective nature of reality, and I realized that, like, you know, everybody's faking it all the time. So, like, you know, if you want to play video games, fucking play video games. That's no less a legitimate experience, human experience, than Bill Gates. You know, like, you're still shitting in the toilet. You're still gonna die and be buried underground. It's like, you know, really, like, you know, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm getting tired.
I mean, it's true. I think once you've transgressed in one place, it's much easier to transgress in others.
Yeah.
You can, like, I think it kind of leads on this. I don't want to. Well, I think I'm saying nihilism because I'm listening to this podcast about nihilism today. But I feel like it is sort of like a nihilist point of view.
We're talking pretty nihilistically right now, I'd say.
But like almost like a positive nihil. I feel like we associate nihilism with negativity, but I feel like it's a positive nihilism where, like, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter what the fuck you do as long as you, like, fucking do it.
I think nihilism gets a really bad rap because it's really it's really it's destructive of the American dream, you know. And also nihilists tend to be pretty depressed people, so you get a lens of like, I think that there's such a thing as, like, whimsical nihilism. Like, radical fairies are very nihilistic people, and I think that that is a very, like, as a representation of a very successful nihilistic outlook is the fantasy that comes along with it. Like, you know, like, if you can indulge a fantasy, that's a pretty awesome accomplishment. A+, in my opinion.
I think I'll link to the podcast I'm talking about really quick.
Oh yes, do it.
It was a part of On the Media this week. It's an old broadcast, but they go in not too deep, but a decent enough, like, discussion of, like, nihilism. It all starts from this guy who wrote this, like, book about nihilism that a T-shirt was made of, and that eventually ended up on Jay-Z. So they kind of, like, are tracking back. Yeah, like, it's like ends up in, like, the Jay-Z Beyonce tour video.
Oh my god, that's rad.
It's called, like, The Dust. I think the title of the book was The Dust of This Planet. And it ends up, like, on the back of, like, his biker jacket. And so they're like, how did this, like, small academic nihilism book end up on his thing, and why is there this obsession with nihilism in a way?
That's a good fucking question.
It is. They actually talk to the stylist, and they just talk in general to the author. It's actually it was very good. Where the fuck am I? Okay, here we go. Click, click, click. The dust of this planet. Come on, internet, get with me here. Okay. I'm going to share that. Boop. And that'll be my other link for the week. That'll be my second link. In the Dust of This Planet, which I have not read the book, but it's a nice title, though, as they say in the piece. It's a nice title.
In the dust of this planet.
In the dust of this planet. And then just blend that dust out.
Dusted.
Blend the dust of this planet.
Girl, I need to go to bed.
Yeah, I'm getting a little tired too, but this was a wonderful conversation.
Hasn't it? I've had so much fun.
I've had so much fun. Thank you for indulging me in my browsing.
Is this your longest browsing yet?
How long have we been talking?
2 hours and 47 minutes.
2 hours and 47 minutes? I think so. The other long one I know was, well, Miguel was, I think Miguel might have been 3 hours.
Who's Miguel? Do I know him?
Miguel Gutierrez. She's a performance artist, dancer. She's like well known in New York City.
Girl, I have a very.
I mean, she's not like in the bar scene. She's like in like the performance.
I know. I really like. I keep up with drag queens, and I enjoy queer performance art, but I don't keep up with it.
His pieces are nice, and they're actually kind of accessible in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say check out Miguel. He does shows around. But you should.
God, I do have this performance artist, this trans girl performance artist who I've been getting into. Who actually, let's do that as a link. It's
okay.
You know Zachary Drucker.
Yeah, Zachary Drucker. Yes.
Zachary Drucker has this performance that she has on YouTube. And
okay, so go on YouTube, okay.
Are we allowed to link to YouTube?
Yeah. Oh, it's a Google service, girl. Of course.
Oh, right. She's like, she's laying on this table with people surrounding her. Have you seen this?
Do you have a name for it? Or anything?
Fuck, no. No, it's Zachary Drucker laying on a table with tweezers. I don't know.
Let's see. What's the one fist? Milan.
It's a person who has been.
No, this is her getting wrapped.
Hang on.
Performance clown? No. Let's see. Zachary Drucker. Maybe if I just put Zachary Drucker tweezers.
That's what I did, and it's not giving it to me.
Damn it!
Oh, it's called The Inability to Be Looked At and the Horror of Nothing to See.
The inability.
So I will put that into my Google search, and then we will see if it gives us that. Then, ah, shit, I don't know, girl.
Wait, let me see if I can find it.
It's this voiceover. She's laying on a table with this metal ball in in her mouth, and she's not completely naked, but she's like almost completely naked, laying on this table surrounded by tweezers, and invites her audience members to come and pluck hairs out of her body.
Ooh.
While she's laying there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here there's a Vimeo video of it, I think, here.
Oh, Vimeo.
Okay, so I'll post a link to that. I just saw Zachary and Flawless Sabrina. They were together in a Franklin Furnace piece I saw at Participant Inc., which was wonderful. For a hot second, I thought Zachary was Greer Langton for a second.
Huh?
Do you know Greer Langton?
No.
Greer Langton was a trans artist who like made puppets, or maquettes, of dolls and stuff. They recently had a show of all her stuff at Participant Inc., which was like amazing dolls of like Divine and these other kind of characters that she knew of, and she would make kind of these dolls for this certain clothing store on the Lower East Side. They're just like really beautiful dolls they would make, but they also look kind of very similar with blonde hair, both Zachary Tucker and Greer Langton. Anyways, we should watch. Let me watch a little bit of this video. It sounds very interesting.
Watch it later, girl. I'm passing out. I love you.
Okay. Okay. So we're gonna say bye.
We're gonna say bye to our episode of Browsing. It has been a lovely conversation.
Yes.
I look forward to seeing you very soon in the future.
Yes.
Out and about in our wild Brooklyn whatever situation.
Yes, we will see each other IRL very soon, hopefully.
I'm glad we did this. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad you came on. I'm glad you even asked. I was like, really? Is someone asking to be on this dog and pony show?
I really I think I like talking with you. I like talking with you.
I love talking with you. I love talking to people in general. I think you're all interesting and great people to talk to.
Well, thank you.
Yes. So I'll see you soon. Have a wonderful night. Have a good week.
Okay, Anthony. I will see you soon. And to our loyal viewers who've stuck it out for 2 hours and 52 minutes.
Yes, girls. We have 4 viewers still. This is really good.
Really? Fuck you guys.
Only you and Miguel have kept this long with this many viewers. I will give you that, girl.
Well, you know, I am a social media presence after all.
Yeah, you are nominated for best social media presence. Which I will say here and now, I did vote for you.
I am not the best social media presence, though.
Well, I voted for you anyway.
Thank you. Thank you. But we all know it's ham sandwich. It is.
Have a wonderful night.
Bye, bitch.
Bye. Good night, all. Have a good night.